everybody, and welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. Normally we would have Challenger approaching for you tonight, but it's going to be taking a break this week. It'll be back in a few weeks. Tonight we've got some runs lined up for you, just some runs that I wanted to see happen tonight. Before we get into it, just a few quick reminders. You can join the official GDQ Discord and add the new Hotfix role, where you can keep tabs on upcoming events, talk with staff and showrunners, and more. You can use !Discord in Twitch chat for more information. Coming up at the end of the week, we do have, or end of the month, sorry, we do have SGDQ. That's going to be the 30th to the whatever a week after that is. End of the month's always confused me. So you can go to gamesdonequick.com for more information on that. And at the end of this weekend, we have our annual Juneteenth celebration, 22nd and 23rd. You can use !Juneteenth in Twitch chat to check out the schedule and learn more about that. With all of that said, I'll hand it over to our runner commentator here for our first game. Let everybody introduce themselves on the game.
All right, what is up, everyone? My name is Nastani, and today we are going to be running Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights. Specifically, we are running the 100% category, which basically the 100% category details collecting every snack in the game, beating every single boss in the game, and collecting every single monster token, and entering every level. So those are kind of like the things to note. Today on comms, I do have my buddy Cole joining me. Cole, if you want to introduce yourself.
Hello, my name is Coley. I usually run other categories in this game, like any percent or no levels early, but I've done my fair share of hundo. It's one of the top categories in my opinion, and it's an honor to be here at this show tonight.
All right, and so let's just go ahead and get started. So 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so Scooby-Doo Night of 100 Frights is a 2.5D/3D platforming Metroidvania style collectathon, basically, all those things. So mainly, as I've pretty much spoiled, is we're going to be collecting basically everything in the game, hence the collectathon, but there are also upgrades throughout the game that give us Metroidvania elements like being able to double jump, being able to ground pound, things of that nature, so that will alter the way Scooby moves, so that we can access newer and better areas, basically. And so what we're going to do at the start of the game is we're actually going to, if you've seen any other category in this game, you know how quickly the game gets broken wide open, but we're actually going to be taking a pretty traditional path. That's a monster token right there. But we're going to be taking a mostly traditional path with some slight deviations, which you'll see and you'll know if you've played the game before. But we'll also point them out. But this is just playground. This area basically just, tells you how to play the game, like A, B dash, A jump, things of that nature. We obviously already know that. And so all we're going in there for is the snacks, which we're going to be going to a lot of rooms only for snacks, because we can beat this game in like 14 minutes. So there's a lot of unnecessary rooms in terms of like speedrunning. But we're going to be visiting all of them.
Yeah, here we're just making our way to kind of first we're getting the map from Holly right there, not suspicious looking at all, just standing there. But right now we're trying to make our way to this. The world is essentially broken up into 3 different places. First is the manor, which we just entered. But again, because this is like a Metroidvania styled game, we're going to be jumping all over the place. And here we're trying to get into sort of like the water shipyard kind of levels called Smuggler's Cove. And the first level here is Shock on the Dock. And this is a great place to also highlight just some movement stuff. It's very important in this category, but most of the time it's prioritized in other categories where we're going to be wanting to move in specific ways to make certain cycles. So sometimes in other categories we'd have to skip snacks, but in this category we have to get as many snacks as feasibly possible as well. And this level is also a great example of getting some snacks, but not all the snacks. Excuse me, I got the drainage going. So you're gonna see in this room, you didn't really see the snacks that we skipped because they're kind of a secret. But in this level, you'll definitely see Nasani just run by a bunch of snacks. And that's because we're gonna be coming back to here later. And so we're already thinking ahead. We're Giga Brain, like huge. And here we see Shaggy, who came in on a pelican, the usual everyday stuff. I personally like to do that on Fridays, but we're going to skip using him usually. You carry him over to this life preserver and swing off of him. But you can actually do a very well-timed jump to get up there and move along. So you see those snack boxes there. There's also some snacks sort of in a little secret path on the back. But we're going to skip them, and we're going to pay our first snack gate here. 50 snacks. Quarento.
Yeah, and so as Cole mentioned about cycles, the important thing to note about cycles, just to summarize that, is that anything in the game that moves is on a set cycle. So like this crab that I just jumped on will be in that position at that timing every single time. And so the main thing we do with cycles is we line up multiple things so that we can get through the level without getting hit, or so enemies are like completely out of our way as we're collecting said snacks. And this is a kind of pseudo version of tar strats, which we're going to see more of. But basically on this tar, you cannot run or jump without the upgrade the galoshes, which we will get later on. But right now, we don't have it, and we also don't need it to actually collect all these snacks here. So I'm going to kind of shut up, and Cole can take over for what we're about to do here.
Yeah, so this is a pretty... It's well, now it's not. Gosh, I'm such a boomer when it comes to this game. I was about to say this is a new trick, but it's really not.
No, it's not.
So
not
there's
anymore.
all these snacks down here where you usually, when you have the galoshes, can ride this magnificent pelican here, or go on that crate that's to the right, and you can drop down and get all these snacks on these boats and crates. But we're actually going to get them early because we're able to skip the tar and jump on the like poles and stuff. So we're going to ride the pelican, and we're going to be jumping all the way through here. But the more important thing, though, is that what makes this faster is that we are going to do what is called pause storage. And essentially how that works is that we are going to quit the game and unplug the controller at the same time, which makes that wacky noise. And then we basically have two pause menus up here, which allows us to warp from anywhere. In this game, there's fast travel things called warp gates, which you'll actually see us stand next to one right there. It's got a bunch of those swirly lines like an illusion. And you can only warp to places that you've unlocked, but that's still really convenient in a lot of places. And that trick alone breaks like almost every category in the entire game. It's a very pleasing trick, but if you mess it up, and we're going to do it a lot, so you'll be able to see it now with this newfound knowledge I've commentated to you, the viewer. Because words are coming out of my mouth.
This guy's spitting.
Yeah. If you mess it up, you either have to try again, which isn't a bad idea, like a bad thing, or you quit the game, which is not good. And so we're going to try not to do that.
I'm only going to be doing 6 of these in the run, actually. So there will be some points where I actually intentionally don't do pause storage just because I don't have a safety save for it, but I do, because basically this game only allows you to have 3 slots. So I will only be doing 6 pause storages because I have 3 in each, and like, you know, port A and port B. A thing to note about pause storage is why it's super useful, especially in Hundo, is that Hundo, there's a lot of backtracking because there's some snacks that you just legitimately cannot get to. They are impossible to collect in certain areas. And so you have to come back with said invention. Like normally in Pier 3, what would be impossible there is you need to have the galoshes to collect the snacks, but we just bounce on a crab. We, you know, get on these weird things that have weird collisions that we're allowed to jump all over the place on, right? So we don't need that upgrade. And then we can cut out all the backtracking, because basically what you would do there, if you didn't have pause storage and if you didn't have the galoshes, you would just leave that room, and then you would go all the way back to Shock 2, and then you would use that warp gate to warp back to the very first level that we entered, right? And so it just cuts out a lot of backtracking, because there's a lot of backtracking where like you go to like the edge of the world to get said snack that you need, and then you're like, cool, I have to go all the way back across like Narnia to get there, and you're like, I don't want to do that, which is why pause storage is so good, because there's no Narnia. You just leave. You just immediately leave whenever you need to go. And I think we do like 8 to 10 of them in the run total. So I'm really only doing the ones that save the most amount of time. There's a couple that I will be doing that are kind of like jump, Scoob. Yeah,
this is a very classic part of the game for anybody who grew up with it. But yeah, I remember when pause storage first got implemented, like everybody was kind of afraid to do it, and then they were like, oh my gosh, what if we did it like 10 times in Hundo? That'd be crazy. And then we actually did, and we were like, oh, like holy, wow, we're really advancing the speedrun, huh?
Yeah, because basically like what happened with pause storage is that when it introduced, like obviously everyone was very apprehensive about doing it, because obviously if you mess up, you quit the game and you end your run immediately, right? Which is not very fun whenever it happens. But what ended up happening is that, like, I guess to get into the real nitty gritty, at the beginning of pause storage, also we're just damage boosting through this whole level in case you couldn't tell what we're doing. This is Shaggulous. But what we did with pause storage is that basically you unplug your controller and press A at the same time. But on the replug, what you do is that what we did at first is that we timed the start press with the plug-in, right? So on the plug out, you would have a timing, and on the plug in, you would have a timing to hit. But then we discovered that you can just hold down the start button when you plug it in. So there's only one risk, right? Instead of 2 risks every time, we cut it down to 1 risk, which made it way more accessible, and which is why you kind of see it everywhere. Like pretty much anyone that is, even like mid-level runners, like do pause storage. Like it's pretty safe to do so now because of just that single innovation. I think that was like the biggest innovation in pause storage, is being able to just hold down the start button, because that really made it super consistent. Because ironically, I mean, you all pretty much know this, but like unplugging things is pretty easy to do just quickly, right? So timing that's way easier than timing a plug in. Because there's like, what if it doesn't plug in all the way? Like, you're whenever you plug in, you like slide your GameCube or your Wii like halfway across the room. There's so many like actual like physical factors that go into it.
It makes it really
and also
neat.
in this, and I think it's like really cool. All I was going to mention is that we do, in fact, clip through the box there. Just don't worry about it. We're going to clip through a lot of things in this game.
Yeah,
that, they pretend to be there, but like, are they really? Like,
are they really though? This is also the first level set where we're actually going to be 100%ing like the level sections.
Oh yeah,
like all parts. So that one box clipping that we're like, whatever, cool. Yeah, I love how we just dismiss something crazy just like that. But that allows us to like get there earlier, so we can actually boom, and we get a little notification there that says like, all the snacks are collected, and then we're like, yay. And then if you don't see it, then you're sad.
And then you're like, uh-oh, what did I forget? Which is good though, like especially for like when you're learning the category, it's very nice to just have a very quick visual indicator of, hey, you don't have all the snacks here. Which I think like actually like, even though there's so many things to memorize because there's so many snacks in the game, I don't know how many snacks are in the game, but there's too many, that's for sure.
I used to know that number, but I don't anymore.
Yeah, but the thing is that like learning the category is actually not the worst, just because of that like indicator, right? And this is also something that we're not supposed to be doing right now. I believe you're supposed to have the soap to get up here or something. Yeah, but we can just jump on top of like an invisible ledge on a sign to get up there, and we can just get all the snacks in one go, because of course there's just a random invisible ledge that we can use. When in doubt, just find an invisible ledge. That is pretty much the theme of the whole game, to be honest. It's like, how many invisible ledges can you find? The answer is all of them. Ow.
And we're gonna do even more we're going to do even more invisible ledge action in this next level here. We're going to get to another place where soap would be your friend, but we're terrible friends and we don't need the soap. Never did anything for us anyway. So right here, an invisible wall, and now we're just swinging around. And the reason why we're going this way is because we are about to get not only 100% these levels because of this fancy trick here as well, but also to get the helmet power up, which will allow us to break things and press
with our heads
and and kill enemies. But we're going to try and avoid enemies at all costs, pretty much, unless we have to. But then also push buttons. That's also the other thing. That's very, very useful.
And basically, like, what you're going to quickly notice is that we absolutely do not care about the soap at all in this run. There's so many things that, like, the soap is technically supposed to be used for. We're going to use the soap invention one time in the whole run.
Yeah.
And it's not even to collect snacks. It's not to collect snacks. It's not to do anything. It's to do a specific platform thing. It's just to cut out like a little bit of backtracking. But yeah, so now as we get to the top here, we're going to go get the helmet upgrade, which, as Cole mentioned, just allows hit buttons, kill enemies. So very, very important. But what we're going to do is we are now going to divert from the casual path. So normally whenever you play the game, you would do something like this, except probably way slower than I did it. Sorry, I don't know why I had to do that. But yeah, you would basically do something like this. And this would be your intended path throughout the beginning of the game. However, we're now going to break that because as much as the soap is useless, I'm going to talk about another useless invention, which you've already seen it be useless, is the galoshes. So the galoshes, another useless invention in this game that we do not ever need to know about. And basically what the galoshes does, it allows us to be able to run, walk, and jump on tar. But
another nice possible.
Yeah, but what we do instead is that there's a low-hanging ceiling at the entrance of Fishies, and so there's a bunch of tar that blocks us. And so we're just going to jump on this barrel, and then we're going to jump on this invisible ledge there, and then we're going to break open this, and we're just going to go into Fishy early. Yep. So why are we doing this? I don't know if I necessarily remember the reason why we're doing this. I don't necessarily know if I remember. Sorry, I had an alert on my stream play.
That was really cool.
It totally
threw you off.
It totally broke my train of thought.
The main. Do you want me to take it away? Do you want me to do?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, tell
So
about
we're
galoshes.
so
I was
basically
gonna make up some stuff, but
so we're on our way to get another item called the Super Slam or the Super Smash. I always forget. I always say Super Slam. But it's basically the ground pound and allows you to basically do anything the helmet can do, but vertically. And so that's just really useful to have early on. Also, what we just did, just jumping over that invisible wall, is insane because we skipped 25% of the game and the entirety of Manor. Yeah, you need to mute your alerts. Okay. Apologies.
All right, we're back at
difficulties.
I'm begging you.
Anyway, so we skipped 25% of the game. We skipped all of Manor. We skipped the whole boss fight, but we're gonna go back to it. But it's just so much more useful to have other items. So then it reduces the backtracking in Manor, because if we went to Manor immediately, we would have to go back so many different times because we have to fight this boss and get this item, or now we got to go to this level and get this item to get one monster token or something like that.
I remember now. Okay, so basically the TLDR of what Cole is saying is that basically we're going to get both the Super Smash upgrade early and the Umbrella upgrade early, and these two upgrades are literally the most OP thing in the game. Specifically in Manor, there is a shortcut that can get us to basically it can get us to Black Knight early, but we're not going to be doing Black Knight early.
Which is usually the first boss.
But, that's my goodness
so
gracious.
Sad. You want to get
this
a
game
good
is so sad. Yeah. Set me free, please.
The camera in this game, by the way, for anybody wondering, you can't control a camera. It's automatic. So if you're wondering why, why? But that's why. Anyway.
But yeah, so we're getting to the Super Smash early because there's certain buttons that you need to hit with said Super Smash upgrade, and then the Umbrella can basically we want the Umbrella as quickly as possible because the Umbrella allows us to do all the Manor in one go. If we don't have the Umbrella, we can't do the Manor in one go, basically. I don't know why it took both me and him 35 years to just get that single sentence out.
to defend my intelligence a little bit, I was going to save it for later. That's my totally valid excuse.
Oh! What am I, a 12-year-old? I can't make this jump? Oh my god! All right, we're going to try this one again. We are doing something pretty cool here. It's called skid jumping, where I messed it up twice in a row, so that's really cool. What you're supposed to do is that you're supposed to actually run off the platform. I'm not running off the platform like that, and then it extends the amount of coyote frames that you have, which if you don't know, coyote frames are basically how many frames you have after you walk off a ledge for you to be able to input a jump. And basically the skid jump extends the amount of coyote frames that you have so that you can jump later, which means you can jump further typically.
Yeah, and I personally love that mechanic. In fact, I've played this game so much that when I play Mario now, I always I just hate playing Mario now because I just feel like I can walk off a ledge for 200 years and then I die and then I'm like, okay.
Okay, Smile.
Yeah, but we're gonna be cruising for the most part through these fishy levels. Infamously, if you've played this game casually, these are very frustrating levels. This
They're
level
also very frustrating in the speedrun too.
and also very frustrating in the speedrun. Actually, in any percent, we skip it now. Or, well, I guess we have skipped it for a while. But
we've skipped it for a pretty long time.
we skipped it for, it's been like 2 years or 3 years.
It's been like 3-4 years, something like that.
Just take me back. But, gosh, I keep getting NLE confused with this category, so I'm like tripping a little bit.
Yeah, so there are, what basically makes fishy hard is that there are specific cycles. Obviously, in the last level, I completely beefed the cycle that I was supposed to hit. However, right here, I hit the cycle. I hit the cycle in Fishy 3. So there's things like that, cycles like that, where like the platforms just perfectly line up. Otherwise, I would have to like wait for like the platforms to rise and fall so that I can get up here as quickly as possible. And basically, like this, I think saves like 10 seconds. I believe the Fishy 2 one saves like 15 or something like that. Something ridiculous. So like you can bleed a lot of times in this level by one miss input, which is really cool and fun and definitely not annoying at all.
Can you hear it in his voice? It's definitely not.
Yeah, I don't have any PTSD from running this game for like 2 months getting record. I don't have anything. I feel fine about it, honestly.
Yeah, another thing that makes these levels pretty frustrating is on the very bottom ground, like the gray ground, it's slippery. But then there's also these conveyor belts here, which push and pull you all around. But actually, we are going to do a trick coming up here that sort of abuses that mechanic along with the skid jumping, and it's called gargoyle jump. And that's another sort of trick we use to get some snacks that we're otherwise supposed to have, I think, the umbrella for. I don't know. I have no
idea how to actually get up there casually. Like,
I think it's umbrella. I'm pretty sure, but it's that up there. You see a giant ice cube with the caveman, and there's like 3 gargoyles right next to each other, having a great time.
I need that snack.
We're gonna charge on this and skid, and boom, we got those 2 snack boxes and that little guy right there. And hopefully, if Nasani did everything right, which I've been looking out for him, it looks like he has. Hopefully, we'll see an all snacks collected here, and we'll be paying another snack gate. This one is
450.
450, yeah.
Yeah, which snack gates don't really matter in this category because we're collecting every snack in the game, so we never really have to worry about paying snacks. Because we're going to have 3,334 extra snacks, Smile.
Yeah.
Really cool.
Just in case, you know.
Yeah. But a thing to note about the conveyors is that you probably noticed it, but like what we do is that we actually travel with them. So whenever we travel with them, we get a lot of speed, and when we're traveling against them, we try to jump off of them immediately to basically cancel that and basically keep our momentum going forward. There's all snacks collected. Here's the snack gate, and now we're going to head to Coast. Now, again, we're getting to these levels a bit earlier than intended, so we're going to see some more tar. But again, with the tar, not
a problem.
It's not a problem. We just don't care.
Yeah. That's what I say to tar.
I need that. I need that snack. Please.
There we go. And we skipped a lot of this
in the
level
100% category, you do in fact need to collect all the snacks. So if you miss one, you have to go
really?
back to
Man, we should have said that at the start. Sheesh.
Yeah, but not these. We don't care about these. This is part of our backtracking that we're going to have later on, which is why it was very important that I hit the warp gate in Fishy 4, because Fishy 4 is actually where we start the backtracking in this game to get all the snacks that we couldn't have before, because there are certain snacks that, well, that's a lie. We can get the snacks without the galoshes. However, it's faster to collect these snacks with the galoshes. Right there, I jumped over a cutscene trigger. They made it too bad, so I just jump over a Smile. So we're not going to watch that 8-second cutscene. We're just we're gonna keep it going.
Wow. There are a few cutscenes like that in this game where you can either jump over them or you can death abuse and just skip the cutscene entirely. And it's always a shame when there's certain cutscenes when you can't do it. Or if you don't skip those cutscenes, it feels like 300,000 years, but then you look at your time and you're like, oh, 3 seconds passed.
Yeah, and then you just feel like a little dummy, like a little idiot whenever you miss it.
Yeah.
And then you're just
I
like,
feel a little
well.
goofball. Yeah.
But it doesn't lose that much time. But also, I mean, to be fair, at this stage of the game, because this game's pretty optimized, if you do miss a cutscene trigger, it's like not necessarily run ending in this category, but in other categories for sure. It's like it's like never mind, no more. Because really, like, also, I hope you all enjoy this level. This level's so
loud. It's so loud.
Ga-doom. Like, spare me. But so we're supposed to like hit that button to stop these. However, we're just gonna jump on them like this. I jump on them in a very specific way because if these boxes hit you from the bottom, you get what we like to call you get boxed. And if you get boxed, you die because the boxes are really awfully made, and so you just kind of clip through the boxes, even on the ground. Even on the ground, though, like whenever they travel up and you're outside of them, sometimes you'll just get hit by them.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's just not fun. But I did make that specific like that jump pattern of like where you jump on like the boxes. I did make up that movement. That was me, Smile, which is useful. And now we are going to become Great Dane Jesus. It's going to be really cool. So we're just gonna casually walk on water, and then we're gonna do it again. Because we need to get to these both back here, so we're gonna run that twice a little bit. And then there's also, we haven't talked about this much, but there is a version difference on the NTSC copies of the game. This is here on the 0.0 version. Also, whenever I clip through that box back in Greenhouse 2, I know you all don't know the names of it, but whenever I clip through the box, that's also a 0.0 version exclusive. 1.0, yeah, sorry, whatever. Yeah, 1.0. Sorry, it's 1.0 and 1.1.
1.1. You could check it back if you never did it.
But yeah, those are the two major differences. Fun fact: the box clip actually loses time, but I do it in marathons because it's cooler to clip through a box.
Yeah,
it's like 2 seconds. Like it's not that big of a deal, but it's like, yeah. But you know, if you watch my I was gonna say if you watch the record, but I forgot that I have record now. But so if you watch my record run, Smile, you actually see the wow. You see the alternative shot that I go for, which is basically jumping up a wall, which is also cool, but not nearly as flashy as clipping through a box. But yeah, the fishnet though does save a decent chunk of time. Like it saves like 3 seconds. Like it's actually kind of ridiculous. But this is Lighthouse Fright House ! Part 1. In this, there's a lot of snacks here, and we're going to be doing a technique that I said we're going to be doing a technique like we have a name for it. We don't have a name for it. Basically, if you aim Scooby's head away from enemies, you can do this where you just hit them. You can
there you go.
You can slide around them like that. Yeah. So, and if you don't do that, you hit them like an idiot, like I did. But as long as I'm aiming my head away, you can slide around enemies, and you can one-cycle this room while getting all the snacks.
This closes after a certain amount of time. You have to race to the top to get the Super Smash, which is the ground pound I talked about earlier.
Yep, and then this allows us to ground pound, and specifically the most important part about the ground pound is that it allows us to it allows us to jump off into the abyss. That's what it allows us to do. What it allows us to do is beat the gringos. So the big overarching reason why we're doing this is because A, we can get to the Black Knight faster with the umbrella. We can also split mana up to collect the snacks faster with the umbrella as well. And so really the main thing that we're doing is getting the umbrella as fast as possible, because once we get the umbrella, we can do everything in the game, basically. Like 98% of things. And so here, this is actually a rare occurrence in this game. We almost never pay the snack gate. And by almost never, I mean, I lied. We never pay the snack gate except for Hundo. I don't know why I said almost never. We never pay that snack gate because there's a shortcut in Shock 2. And basically, in other categories, snacks are time. Here, again, don't care about snacks because we're getting all of them. There's a invisible troll snack box there. There's a lot of troll snacks in this game, and so if you ever play this game and have not known where you're missing some snacks, you will find out really quickly, because you're like, oh, they're hidden behind that little thing that you can't see because you can't move the camera, and it's
that's usually
fun.
how it goes. So
Fun gameplay loop for sure.
yeah,
But now we are making our way to the plungers, because basically there are certain snacks that we did not get to in Hedge 2. And again, you don't technically need the plungers to get the things in Hedge 2. But again, similar to the galoshes and like Pier 2, it just makes collecting them faster. And so that is what we are doing now. Plungers also makes getting into Misbehaving 2 faster. And then also we have to collect the plungers, just in general, for percentage, because it's part of percentage as well. So, yeah. What was I doing? That same thing, Zombie. I also forgot what I was doing. What was I doing?
don't forget the other. Okay, cool. But yeah, once we get on our way to plungers, that really just we book it to Green Ghost, which is usually the second boss, but this is going to be the first boss.
Yeah.
And
First boss
this
that we
is also it's also nice to get to this room here because we can activate the warp gate here, and that's going to be very useful for us backtracking, not only to go to the end game, but also the giant inferno in the background is how we'll be able to get some snacks up there. We actually don't. Wait, do we do?
Also, a thing to note about the Super Smash is that it actually extends the amount of time that you're in the air. And so you saw it right there collecting that snack box. We actually wouldn't be able to collect that snack box without soap, but because we can extend the amount of time that we spend in the air with the Super Smash, and we can also influence direction as well while we're Super Smashing, we basically just get just enough height so that we can, we can extend a bit more further in the air. But go ahead with. And no, we don't do K2. We just
I thought about it for 2
we do
seconds
the
and I was
awful
like,
door skip.
Yeah.
Awful. We do the worst door in the game, as it is labeled on my splits. Worst door in the game because it's so bad, and we'll talk about it. Don't worry, because knowing me,
like we already want to talk
I'll,
about it.
I'll try to enter the door like 4 times, and I'm not going to get it once. It's going to be really cool. But you know what else is really cool? We have to get that token. We have to have the helmet in order to get it. So this is like the main thing where you're going to see having upgrades aids in our backtracking. So right there, we couldn't get that token before. And here, again, you can get up this slope by just being good. However, why be good when you can just press the B button and
do that,
and then just do that? Like it just makes it way faster. And pretty much like almost like all slope surfaces, you could pretty much jump up. Besides Attic 2, is that the one with the token in it? You know what I'm talking about? With
that's Attic 2.
Yeah. Besides that one, that's like the only slope where it's like kind of impossible. But like even here, like there's an alternative way you can get up here as well. But again, just running up the slope is faster. And so we basically like bulldoze through this level the first time, and then we just like redo it, right? And since we have to come here twice anyway, it really doesn't matter that we split it up, right? Because we have to come back here twice anyway. And then we're also going to completely invalidate the galoshes yet again.
Yep. We're going to be doing a cycle here where you see these walking through. That's them right there, the scarecrows. There's going to be another one over to the right that is walking on tar, but conveniently there's a little spot where there isn't tar, and we're just going to bonk right on his head and then land on this little concrete slab right there and get all these snacks and these monster tokens. So we got all snacks collected. That's great. And then we got the monster token, and we're going to die immediately. Usually that plays like an Indiana Jones, like boulder kind of thing. But here, we're going to take a little fork in the road. So this is a trick that you can actually do right at home. And the scientist is just going to hold up left on the D-pad, and you just clip through a gate. You just clip through a solid gate. And that allows us to enter into this room right here. And you saw the Sonny pause there too. A lot's happening all at once. He paused there for a second to kill that guy to get that monster token.
Because basically he needs to have enough height in order for us to get up there.
Yeah, and he's on a cycle. So, but now we just have to collect these keys, and this is kind of the pathway to Green Ghost now that we were talking about earlier. But that one gate clip that he just did, It's super easy. If you have the game, you could do it right at home. You can actually do it on both sides of the gate. And a little fun fact is that gate clip became optimized because Ryan, in theory, played this game using a dance pad. He hooked it up and he played it with a dance pad, and then he was like, "Oh wait, holding just the exact directionals makes it so much easier." So we got to shout out Ryan.
That is unironically how it was found because he did do. By the way, legendary run. If you all want to check out that run, it's so fun.
Yeah, it's the only run on the meme boards. So.
It is the only run on the meme boards of Dance Pad. It is truly a relic of this game, truly iconic. But yeah, that is unironically how that trick got optimized. And basically what that trick does is that if you all don't know the casual routing of the game, which I'm sure most of you don't, we basically skip all of the Skull Cliff levels right there. So basically in the Skull Cliff levels, there is nothing of value at all. The Skull Cliff levels are so bad, and I hate them. Mainly because they're just so large, and there's nothing in them. Like there's not even that many snacks in them for how large the levels are.
One is super large, and then the other three are like tiny.
Yeah, which Skull 4 is the large one, which is the second largest level in the game. But speaking of the largest level in the game, this guy here. Also, do you smell that, chat? Do you smell that, chat? I think this little stinky. Yeah. I think we're smelling a little bit of an auto scroller. Yeah. We get to participate in auto scroller. So, but this is the only auto scroller that we have to participate in the whole game. We actually have skips for every single other auto scroller, as you saw like earlier with the lawnmower. We skipped that. Well, we skipped part of it by damage abusing. And then we're actually going to skip another auto scroller. No, we're not. We're participating in that auto scroller. Never mind. In AMT we skip it, but we're playing Hundo and I don't skip it. So this is one of two auto scrollers, but this is like a true auto scroller. Like there is a way to break the next one. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Whatever. That's an auto scroller. Who cares?
We're rambling right now. We're just rambling right now.
We're just yapping.
There's going to be a point where there's just nothing, Like, we're just too fast for this game.
Normally, in order to get to Miss Bay... Oh, right. To get into Skull Cliff, you need to have the Super Smash, right? Again, we don't need the Super Smash to get into Skull Cliff. So by skipping Skull Cliff, going straight to Misbehavin', we skip the need for the Super Smash. So in like other categories, like we'll actually be in... we'll actually go through Skull Cliff backwards to get the helmet. Fun fact, for no reason that you didn't ask for. We're playing Hundo, talking to you about other categories. But there's that like dichotomy of where we basically don't need to go into the Skull Cliff levels right now because there's nothing in it. There's no upgrades. There's no nothing. It's really it will be part of our quote unquote not backtracking, but it will be the last thing we do before we initiate our backtracking, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's going to be one of the last things that we do, and this is actually a very scary part of the auto scroller here. Usually because if you miss one of these snacks and you die in this level at this point, nice, you got all the snacks. It's like, I don't know how many, like 2 or 3 minutes. 2.5 minutes.
2.5 minutes.
And you got to go all the way back down to the bottom and run all the way back to that button. Here's some secret snacks, by the way, that are just completely off the camera when you're standing right there. But we got all snacks collected, and he didn't die, so we're gaming right now.
Yay!
And
yeah, like that
graveyard.
Is the most brutal death. Like if you die in that level in any category, it's just an instant reset. Like it's 2.5 minutes. Like you just cry. Like there's nothing to do but cry. We're getting that warp gate specifically because there are snacks up top, as you can maybe see. I hate you so much. Give me that. No.
There's usually a key cycle.
So the ghosts in this game are RNG. Really cool. So sometimes you just get rolled, but there's snacks up top there. We can't get it because we either need the gum upgrade or the soap upgrade in order to remove the walls. Originally, we actually thought that we're going to death abuse to skip a cutscene, by the way. Originally, we thought that only the gum unlocked that, like you had to beat Redbeard. But actually, when me and Cole were playing bingo, we found out that you can unlock the top half of that with the soap, which is like cool. Like, I think it's because like, isn't there something weird with like the gum and the soap and how they're coated or something?
Yeah,
I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, it's like something that they serve very similar functions and were probably made at like the exact same time. So And usually you would have the gum before the soap anyway, so it doesn't really matter if they like left that in or not. So it's just a bunch of convenient things for us and things that whoever really constructed that sequence of events didn't think would be possible because they didn't think we would do it.
Yeah. But it's just cool that we found that out by playing bingo.
Bingo, yeah.
Which is only useful in bingo because
unfortunately.
It also just made bingo more fun because you don't have to fight Redbeard nearly as often in bingo. Because fighting Redbeard in bingo is very annoying, which you will see why Redbeard's very annoying later. Right now we're going to fight the first annoying boss in the game, Green Ghost. But that's a little premature because we're actually going to be collecting a bunch of stuff before then. I just lied to you guys, but we'll get there.
It's a half lie. It's a little fib.
Yeah, a little fib.
Yeah, something you're actually going to see right up here is, remember when I said, also here's Secret Monster Totem. Remember when I said we can only warp to places we've already been to? Well, we don't. Oh, never mind. My cool fun fact is gone. It's completely not fun anymore.
We do.
Oh, we do?
Keep
never
going,
mind. Okay, never mind. I have a really great fun fact. So I'm in shambles right now.
It's been a minute since he played Hundo. Give him.
So there's every warp gate has a little value to it. It's like their little name tag. But if they have the same value, then if you unlock one warp gate, then the warp gate that has the exact same name tag to it will also unlock. And it turns out that warp gate and then the warp gate that is right next to the Green Ghost boss fight is copy and pasted. So if you unlock one warp gate, you'll unlock the next one. And anybody who casually plays this game knows is that you shouldn't be able to do that. But you'll see here with this pause storage.
Like this icon right here, the thing's unlocked, and this one clearly is not unlocked, but I can work there anyway.
Yeah. And it's
so this just cuts out a lot of backtracking, and it also skips a 600 snack gate, which is really useful because for us specifically, we still want to avoid snack gates whenever possible because paying a snack gate takes time, which is funny. Yeah. So we actually avoid the snack gate just because it just takes too much time to pay the snack gate. Not necessarily because of the snacks not because of the snack cost, but because of the time it takes to watch the animation of paying the snack gate.
Yeah,
but this is Green Ghost, and basically we use that in all bosses in AMT to skip the snack gate. But double thing here, we're not going to fight Green Ghost, which is a really cool green guy. If you cannot guess from how this boss just started off really cool, it's completely RNG. It's you just please go to where Daphne goes so I can hit the button, please.
There's some manips, but basically, you basically pray. You want the ghost to go over the coffin that has like the vortex thing going on. And this is also why we needed the super smash, is so we could actually press these buttons. But sometimes he can just throw giant green fireballs at you and throw lightning, and obviously he's not above a coffin, so it's very.
If he goes to the middle, I'm gonna cry. Fog.
He is about to, so it would seem. But we've really tried to look for something here, but unfortunately, we haven't cracked the code yet. I'm really coping right now that we will one day find a manip, but that is the most cope you'll see tonight. But now we have the umbrella, which is the item we were talking about earlier that allows us to glide. But now we're gonna start gambling.
Basically, we are gonna start gambling in second because we love gambling. But actually, what we would normally do there is do another pause storage to skip that, like a little backtracking. But since it's such a little backtrack, I just do it so that I can have bigger time saves later on. But just a small thing to note if you are familiar with the run, wondering why I'm not doing that pause storage, because I can only do 6 of them. I'm choosing the 6 of the most impactful. So this is gambling. Really cool. We'll come back to gambling. Before we gamble, we're gonna go back to Gloom 1. So this is actually the room where the 600 gate leads us to. And so obviously there's snacks in this room, so we're going to be collecting these, but that's all that's really in this room. So we're just going to kind of jet around here. And because we're entering the level backwards, we're actually going to death abuse at the end of this, and then we're going to go right back to the beginning. Also, whenever you enter levels backwards, they have a thing in the game where the gate will just open for us, which is very nice. So the gate just opens for us. We can go through the level backwards just fine. We're going to take a little tumble because whenever you death abuse, you basically warp back to where you entered the level at. So that's that. And now on to gambling. Smile. Cole, take it away.
All right. So
how are we gambling here?
All right, so this is called Coffins, and it's the game. It's probably the most I've gambled in my whole life is playing this game. And essentially, how it works is that there's those coffins up in the background, and there's a button corresponding to each one, and it'll either shoot out snacks, which we need, or it'll shoot out a ghost, which is like, boo, you lost. And once a coffin spews out some snacks, then it's like, cool, it checks it off, you can't get snacks from it anymore. But the remaining ones still have to have snacks be collected. And essentially how it works is that there's this is getting really into detail, but there's basically just a floating dog collar out of bounds, and it is randomly chosen which coffin it chooses to have snacks be enabled. So, TLDR, when you start, you have a 100% chance of getting snacks from a coffin. Then you have 75% because now you need 3 of those coffins to give you snacks. But one of them's already been picked. So 3 out of 4 is 25 or 75%. I'm probably explaining this in the most convoluted way possible.
So basically what happens is you start out 100%. Every time you go through here, if you hit all 4 buttons, you will 100% have a chance of getting it. The second time you do it, however, you have a 75% chance. So if I get coffin 1, let's say, let's use this. If I get coffin A, I can get coffin A back to back. Right.
That's what I was trying to say the whole time.
Yeah. And so basically, I have coffins A, B, and D right now, and I need to get C. And as you can see, haha, pun. Oh my god. Anyway, I'm doing this over and over again. Basically, you have to die to reset the room, to reset the RNG, and I just am literally just waiting for the dog tag to line up under this coffin specifically. Right now, it just keeps appearing under A, B, or D. So we are literally waiting. Smile. This is the fun part of Hundo. You can either get perfect coffins, which is you get 4 in a row, or you get what we are getting, which is where we keep watching the ghost come out of the ground a lot, and it's really cool. So you can lose a lot of time here, or you can lose no time here. I think the worst I've ever seen was Jolly.
Yeah,
Jolly's another Hundo runner. He's been in this level for like 10 minutes at some point.
It's like, why? It's honestly a miracle. I think he just wanted to see how far he could get. It's like...
He did, yeah, because he was planning on resetting, but he's like, I just need to see. I need to know, like, how bad this is. It was pretty bad. And this one's also relatively bad, too.
Pretty bad.
I think this is one of the worst ones I've had in a long while, actually. But... again, we have to collect all the snacks in the game, so we just have to do this, which is kind of unfortunate. But like, even though there is like RNG in this standpoint, there's actually like RNG actually really doesn't have a factor in like your run for the most part until like you start getting to like the 140 mark, really, which like to get a 140 something, you have to be really good at the game. So, like, for most people that play the game, you're actually not really gonna, like, the outcome of your run isn't really gonna be dependent on the RNG, per se. But now we are done with the RNG aspect. Well, there's more RNG in the game, but, like, it's very limited to RNG. Like, that's... Yeah, we're done gambling. Basically, there's that RNG, and then there's the RNG of the bosses. And that's all the RNG in the game, which is actually, like, pretty nice in comparison to a lot of other games, specifically other collectathons. There's typically a lot more RNG in collectathon style games. But this one, very limited and really not that bad in the grand scheme of things, because I've seen some games where you're like, all right, this is like really cool, you know, where you like need a specific item or whatever, and it's just like even worse. But we're gonna make our way through here. So basically, you saw me earlier, I hit this urn and then I ran away from it because I didn't want to wait for it to hit the ground. But that's also because we're coming back to this room, Crypt 2, which is a dead-end room. Again, two things we need here. We need the snacks in this room, and we also need the completion requirement of entering every room. Yeah, so two things that we're getting here, but we're actually going to enter one room at the end of the run that doesn't have any snacks in it, but we just have to enter it. Smile.
Yeah.
But most of the times where there's a dead end room, there's actually snacks, so it's actually like it doesn't feel as bad.
Got another pod storage here. Very nice. And yeah, we're on our way back to the ship levels here, and we're gonna make our way to the next boss fight, and also just all the ship levels that precede it. And this boss fight is Redbeard, because pirates, ships, ha ha ha, very funny. We're gonna go to another room as well.
No one laugh. No one laugh. Everyone boo Cole in chat.
Call him names. Anyway, but
Here's another dead end room.
There's a dead end room. Sly has 3. If you, this is actually a good place to maybe mention this little factoid. So Scooby dies in this game, right? Sometimes that's great for us because it makes us go faster. But so let me continue. So when Scooby dies in a level, the level is loaded in a different way, and for whatever reason, water is loaded in a different way as well. And this allows us to do things like void warping if you don't die in a level, which is I'll probably explain that later. Oh, you almost did it actually.
Void warp in Hundo?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think we do a void warp,
No,
actually. I don't think you're going to get to see it.
It's it's a cool trick, but anyway. But in that level in particular, if you die in that level...
Oh, wait, I could show off a void warp, technically. I could do it in Skull 4 for no reason. Because I can just...
Wait, but...
Because I can just pause storage.
Okay, yeah, sure, I guess. And that is probably the coolest looking one, in my opinion. Actually, no, I should say the trick that I found is the coolest.
But only if, like, I have enough time.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
But I think we will, because my estimate's pretty
lenient. But to finish my point though, in that past room we were in, and we can actually experience it in future rooms that are upcoming here. The water can just hit you through platforms. We usually call it getting boated.
This game
because
sucks.
they're falling platforms. Also, yeah, just a missed opportunity with the water cycle there. But yeah, so if you die in a level, it can actually be more beneficial for you to exit and re-enter the level so it loads the proper way. So then you don't just randomly die when you're on a platform that's by water. We could see this in future levels, so the hope is that we don't. But right here, we're also going to do a little ground pound right there and do this crazy nonsense, which usually you're not supposed to be up here until like you've beaten like 6 other levels. But because we're so good at video games and we didn't know the skid jump there, we're able to get a secret snack there and get all those snacks there without having to press a little goofy button that looks just like that. Oh, we're doing buttonless now. That's cool. You can do this without pressing the button. That's so unexpected. I did not realize you were going to do this. But there's an invisible ledge that you can get right there, and you can glide right on over. It's actually possible to do this room. I can't remember off the top of my head. I wasn't expecting to talk about this. I think you can do this room 100% without pressing any of the buttons, which usually moves. Yeah, you can.
We are going to be doing that.
Yes. Sorry, I'm not good enough at video games to do this in my Hundo run.
This is the hardest thing in the run.
Yes, this is definitely the hardest thing in the run. The camera angle, like being top down like this, doesn't help. So the fact that Scooby has a drop shadow sometimes is very beneficial to us as well. But yeah, we're gonna be trying and skipping all these buttons because there's a cutscene that plays, which while it makes platforming easier, doing another skid jump here, you can actually charge off of the trampoline. Very nice, by the way. You can charge off of trampoline to get some more distance, and then we skid as well, extending the coyote frames, and we're able to make that jump. So yeah, that's pretty much the bread and butter of this room. I actually don't even know if that's how you're supposed to say that saying. I've never really used it before. That's also a very tricky jump. Yeah, that's awesome. Man, that brings a little tear to my eye. That was beautiful. Yep. Look at that. And then
so clean.
oh, so clean. Sometimes you can bounce on that trampoline. Nice.
Yes.
Completely was not expecting that for you to do that, but that's awesome. That's a nice little flex. Here as well, we're going to be using some invisible ledges to get some more snacks right here. Screw that witch.
Yeah.
We hate all the witches here.
Not to be confused with All Them Witches, the band. It's a good band. If any of you know that band, by the way, just shout outs. Just if you know that band, you're goated.
But yeah, are you gonna? Now I'm curious. Are you gonna do this?
No.
Okay. There's a cutscene skip you can do right here.
I can go for it.
Are you?
I'm not gonna.
Oh no,
it's
really
ridiculous.
It's a hard cutscene.
It is so beyond precise. I don't remember if I hit my record actually. I can't fact check myself either. But there's just a really dumb cutscene skip you can do there. It doesn't save that much time. It like max it saves like
you have to do it like
10
first
seconds.
Try.
Yeah, it's not really worth it.
But
I don't think
also,
I do it.
The cutscene also gives you a checkpoint thing here, which is very rare in levels. So you don't go all the way back to the start, which makes death abusing there much more convenient. So, and we're also going to do a fun little thing here where usually you'd have to press the button that we died right next to, but we can jump over an invisible wall and glide all the way over here, which also lowers, that little boat. And now we got all the snacks collected because we also did shenanigans in the first level, and we're getting pretty close to going to Redbeard now.
Because basically, when we jumped on top of that ship mast, there's just like one snack in that corner, which you're normally supposed to get in a gas 3, but we don't want to get that snack. This game is so trash.
Oh, dude,
that's so. In this game, speaking of this game being absolutely horrendous,
wow, I haven't seen that.
I love doing this. Basically, you can walk down these boats in such a specific way where the death plane will basically stick out in the boat and you'll just die, smile, if you walk in a very, 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 very specific way. Very specific way. It is like to recreate it is really hard to do. So yeah, that can happen. It's just basically the death plane sticking through the thing and you basically going through it like really quickly. Like basically because your speed, how do I explain this simply? You go really fast down slope, and if you go too fast down slope, you clip through the floor because you're going so fast and you hit the death plane. There you go. I got there. And you saw me exit and re-enter because of the thing that Cole was talking about earlier, where like basically water can clip through surfaces that it's not clipping through, and if it clips through the surface, we will just die. And so if we reset the level, we don't have to worry about the water clipping us through the ground, because fun fact, we'll actually get there in a second, but there is a specific spot in this level where that can happen. Smile.
Yep.
I need that.
It's a very infamous clip on...
There is an infamous clip on my channel. That is true.
Yeah.
It is such a funny clip. But basically, also, a little boost here. There we go. Right here, on this platform, water can clip through that and kill you. It looks like a solid platform, right? No, you could die there, Smile. And I found that out, which is why I exited and re-entered. And now this is, I actually lied. This is the hardest level in the game.
Yeah, this is pretty much the hardest level
Rec 2 was the second hardest in the game, but this is the hardest level in the game. Okay, I'm going to shut up. I'll see you guys in a second.
So basically what makes this level so hard is not really this part, but there's actually the next part that we're about to unlock. So after we get this monster token and press this button, we're going to go down to like I don't know the parts of the boat very well. The basement of the boat, that's not exactly what it's called, but it's just the underneath here. There's a bunch of water and moving platforms, and combine that with an uncontrollable camera that makes this kind of like a wacky side scroller where you can still move on like a different axis. And furthermore, we need to collect individual snacks. It just really cannot be a fun time, especially if, again, you die in this level. Water in this game is whack, and you can actually hit the water through the platform earlier than you mean to. And you can see, look at how close that snack box is to the water. It's ridiculous. And the water is moving very slightly up and down along with these platforms. And actually, I think the Dasani is on the cycle. Yes, that you can make that cycle right there if you play it well enough.
And I
you
didn't
can jump onto that platform immediately. Yeah, usually you'd want to get those snacks back there, but the camera is a little finicky, so there's nothing.
As you can tell, depth perception really cool in this game. But you can see the little drop shadow here, so you can kind of tell where you're gonna land. But you can't tell when you're gonna hit the snacks because the snacks don't have a drop shadow. So
yeah.
Get rolled, idiot.
We were good. We got
Deathless though.
Yeah,
I didn't get the swag cycle, but Deathless I will 100% take because a lot of times I like to die a lot in that level. I'm really good at dying in that level, I would actually say. I would say I'm one of the best at dying in that level.
Yep.
Ow.
We'll get you a little participation trophy for that. But anyway, so we are making our way downtown, gliding fast. Redbeard passed and we're homebound. That's not how I made a bad joke. You can boo me again, chat. I'm trying to be entertaining. But
man.
But yeah, we're just collecting all these. That door right there is that one secret door. But go ahead.
That door would have taken us back to Rec 1 where that snack is that we collected earlier is. But again, going in and out of a load zone takes a lot of time because you're loading the game and we run in real time. So we want to minimize the amount of loads that we're taking in the game, just in general, just small things. So that's a load removal with that movement, which ends up saving us time. This level's really fun. Cole hates this level though.
I hate this level only. I kind of. But no, I come up with better excuses. But we do this level in a completely different order. So usually you're supposed to like go up these platforms that we are jumping down from. This is the part I'm bad at. I mean that the game is bad. I'm good at this game. But we have to collect all these snacks and keys up here, and you can utilize the momentum that Scooby gets from these trampolines to make it to this other set of trampolines early, which we're also not supposed to do quite yet. And it just it's very when you do it right, it just feels so right. It's like that's how the level should have been played. We're improving upon the casual experience. So we're gonna get the last key here by pressing.
Buttons are really good in this game, by the way. Yeah. You're probably gonna see that a lot in this game where you will ground pound a button and it just won't do it.
Yeah, you gotta be like right on top of it. But boom. Got the last key, and that opens that door right back there, which will lead us to the next boss. But we're just going to collect some snacks first and stuff like that.
To be in defense of Cole, the mid-air movement is actually pretty hard to do. You have to be very, very adept at because basically you just have to trust that you're going where you need to go without any sort of visual indicator that you're good at depth perception.
That's a very polite way of saying I'm bad at the game. I really appreciate your wording of it.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, you just can't look at things, basically.
Skill issue.
You don't have any eyes, unfortunately. Speaking of, but on the flip side, I'm really bad at this trick and you're not, so I probably should have practiced this before we did this, huh?
Well, here's the name of the game.
We hit it.
Yeah. So either we'll hit it and then we'll explain it in post, or wish you're playing all bosses. So the name of this boss fight is basically you wait for these ghost enemy cycles and then you kill the Captain Moody ghosts, which are the ones wearing the raincoats. And then Redbeard's going to throw a sword, and usually you can only hit one rope at a time. And that's the thing that the sign is standing on right now. But there's a trick where we can actually cut all of them at the same time, and that's called 4 rope. But we were only able to get 3, and it's a very finicky, odd, wacky trick. Usually, in my experience, I find it more difficult to get 3 rope than 4 rope, and 3 rope's useful because in other categories you have to defeat the boss with 4 rope. That technically doesn't allow the chest to fall on him, so it doesn't count. But
where am I going?
Once you beat
basement here?
Redbeard.
Basement?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, basement.
Yeah.
I don't have my splits up. I kind of. It doesn't really matter what order you do it in at this point.
We got all the
everything.
items now, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got all the items.
This is the door I was talking about earlier in the game. I hate the door, but we got in first try.
Nice.
Huge.
Wow. Yeah.
The most annoying part about this door, by the way, just really quick,
Let's random
is that is that if you miss it once, you lose 10 seconds. But if you don't go for it at all, you lose 15 seconds. So, no, you lose 20 seconds. So basically, it's better to go for it twice because you're going to save more time going for it twice than if you didn't do it once, or like than if you didn't do it at all. And so even with the retry, you save time, and it's really dumb, and I hate it because it's like so much faster, but also like as soon as you miss it once, you're like, well, I might as well go for it again because I'm still going to save a little bit of time. And then if you don't go for it, you just eat the whole thing, and then it's just so bad. Like, it's just so bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it's just so finicky. But yeah, basically like Redbeard, you can chop all 4 things down.
Yeah, I mean, with that explanation is done.
Yeah. Basically, Redbeard, if you chop all 4 ropes at the same time, you get the power up and you get the percentage. You actually don't need to kill him. You are soft lock in the room, but it doesn't really matter. Smile.
Yeah.
Because we can pause storage out.
Yep.
And now we're in the basement. Yippee!
Yep. This is just a very easy peasy lemon squeezy kind of levels right here. This is where you would usually get the soap. That we've always talked about so much of it being very useless to us, but we got 100% of the game. So we're just making our way through there right now. Something funny also that I just thought about is that Nasai just went on that entire rant of like how that door sucked. But even though it's slower, ironically, there's a trick that allows you to just do that for free. But we have to help Shaggy because he's trapped in a barrel. But we hate Shaggy. Like, we don't want to help him at all. Like, pretty much any opportunity we have, like, I don't think there's a single point in this run where we actually help Shaggy.
We don't, yeah, no. And that's the same in every category besides, isn't there like a help Shaggy category?
I probably.
I know there's a talk to Don Knotts in every level category.
Yeah, Don Knotts is in this game. If you guys are familiar with, he's usually like the caretaker. Rest in peace. But we love, and yeah, there's a whole category about him.
But yeah, we don't interact with Shaggy because basically all of his mini games we have ways to get around.
Yeah, he's just slow and boring. Still owes me like $20.
Yeah, we're actually going to do something pretty interesting in this next room. So Cellar is a bit weird in how it loops in on itself. And so we're actually going to use it looping in on itself for our gain here. So what you're going to see me do is actually avoid some of these snacks here on purpose, just because I'm going to come back and get them later on. I don't think I set that up correctly. However, it doesn't matter, Smile. I don't remember. We'll find out if I did or not. But essentially, there are snacks on our way here to Cellar 1, and there is another half of the room in Cellar 1. There is a way to get to the other half of Cellar 1 from the entrance, but it is absolutely the worst thing in every video game ever. I don't think there's anything worse in any other speed game, and I'll say that with my chest.
I haven't even been with save states on an emulator yet. It's bad. I don't think anybody's
only been done
RTA.
with save states with invincibility. It's like really bad. But what we do is that we loop in on itself because
we're back.
Basically you normally have to do an out and back in this room anyway to get the snacks up top because these guys respawn. But essentially what we do is we go through the level once and then we go back, rewind, and then we run it again. And the load screens are actually not that long. And so by adding basically by adding another load, we basically save a bit of time there. I kind of explained that poorly, but you get the gist. By doing the loop, we save time rather than doing it all in one go.
Yeah, it's an extra load, but it's just a faster way to backtrack.
I cannot see anything, bro.
Yeah, the ghost is completely obstructing your vision here.
Bro was like, hey, yo, I heard you like ghosts. I'm like, ah.
Yep.
Get away from me, shower curtain, please.
Let's see. You're probably really good at this, Joe. But there's usually...
Now that you said it, I'm just going to miss it now, bro.
Shoot.
Like, what the heck?
My bad. Oh, my bad. but there's a little ledge right there. Nice.
It's a very
the
finicky
professor-
jump.
Yeah. I know that
but,
allows us to
you know.
get those snacks without doing like bad backtracking. But now we're here in the
we would
freezer.
either have to. Yeah, we would either have to take the shortcut elsewhere. I have no idea where it goes.
Guess what?
Or we have to death abuse, which would take us all the way back to where we spawned in the room, which is bad.
Far away.
So
Yep.
yeah, it's faster to not do that. Smile.
I know we talked about this a few minutes ago now, but there is a man's best friend category where you save Shaggy.
Oh, yeah, that's what it's
yeah.
called. Yeah, I knew I couldn't think of the name for it, but
There's so many meme runs on the meme board.
I
It's-
had to scroll through a lot of runs to find this.
Yeah.
There are.
yeah, there's quite a
game
few
is so
each with
bad.
their own. There you go.
Hitboxes on snack boxes are so garbage.
Yeah, which is that's one of the first things you sort of realize.
and
when
that's
you're
like
running.
one of the scariest things too, because basically if I kill like both of those guys, I like
What are you gonna
it can
do?
become impossible to not get you have to redo the whole level. It's really annoying, but luckily I
got the
remembered
soap.
my backups, so we're so back. We have the soap, and now we're gonna go into manor, but not in the way that you thought. Oh, we do a void warp. We do one here.
yeah, cool.
I forgot about this. Yeah,
really
so
see it,
basically,
but, yeah.
void warping is let's just show it off. This is void warping. Floop. Whee! So basically, what we do is if you get out of bounds in this game and you frame perfect blog. If you get out of bounds in this game, there's a fail safe. So like there's basically an infinite void, and if you fall, Geronimo. And if you fall in the void, basically, there's a failsafe that warps you to the intended beginning entrance of the level. So we are in Clamor 4. The beginning of the level is the entrance of Clamor 4. Boom! Whoa, Geronimo. Sorry, there's only 3 Geronimos in the game. Whenever you run past them, you have to do the sound. You have to. I don't make the rules. Boo! But yeah, so that's void warping. It's really cool. You see it a lot more in other categories, but that one is actually really useful to us because specifically we play a cutscene there, right? And that cutscene is actually really, really good for us to play in that snare because we actually come back through Manor 4 later on. And essentially, if we do the void warp and we trigger the cutscene, we only trigger it once. If you don't do the void warp and you do the level as normal, you actually trigger the cutscene twice. So it's really, really, really useful. And it actually saves a ton of time because you don't have to watch the cutscene twice. But here, this is the infamous umbrella. This is why we have it. This is why we're doing Manor so late. It's so that we can get into Tower. Now, Tower is kind of this like middle section in the Manor, which basically splits it up so where we can go all the way to the Black Knight, and then if we go if we go through a door in this area, we basically can go backwards through a lot of the Manor levels. And the useful thing about going backwards through the Manor levels is you don't have to pay the snack gates, which means you don't have to play the animation of the snack gate, like paying the snack gates, right? But also it loops in on itself to the fan room where we use the fan. It loops back into that room, basically. TLDR, we basically split Manor up into 2 sections because it's faster than going through it forwards. And so we basically go through parts of it backwards to avoid paying snack gates. Which, again, isn't a problem because we have enough snacks to pay them. But again, saving that time is a huge difference. Also, ironically, some of these levels are easier to play backwards.
Well, that's the other thing I was going to say
funny.
too, is that like, a lot of these levels are designed with the intention of you going forwards in them. So usually the obstacles are the fact that you're going in that order. But like, there's going to be some levels that you see where it's like, oh, you have to get to a really high up top place with Shaggy or something. But because we're starting up there, it's just like, oh, okay, we can just drop down and just save a ton of time. And
yeah,
it
does introduce some really funny things, which we'll talk about later as we get to it. But right now we're on the path of going to Black Knight, which again, Black Knight gives us the Galoshes power-up, which lets us walk on tar, which we have thus far ignored the entire run because again, useless upgrade. But we're gonna be running that. So yeah, we're gonna be going through attic. These are actually some of my favorite levels in Hundo. I just find collecting all the snacks in all these rooms to be very fun.
Yeah, I like it too.
That's all I have to say. Smile.
It's very satisfying and yeah, pretty laid back for the most part. I gotta say that up here though, there's a bunch of snacks on some rafters, and this is at least. I mean, I don't know, maybe because we're speedrunners, we're just so good, but like the camera angle in this, like you can't even see Scooby's drop shadow here. Like you really just have to kind of muscle memory how far you have to go and also get used to like seeing Scooby just barely kind of, what is the opposite of elevate? Just lower himself because he's like about to fall off. And also just because I am a no levels or fanatic, which obviously we would do the level in the same kind of order here. I think one of the most fun parts about this game is making cycles, and this room has a pretty fun cycle that you can make.
Wait, there's a cycle? What's the cycle?
It's like so the headless specter doesn't get in the way of the snacks and stuff, and the barrels falling. Which I mean, you can also just ignore them like that.
I thought the barrels were random.
Nope, I think it's
They're not.
well.
I didn't know that.
At least
I could have sworn they were random. They feel random to me. I don't know. Maybe I just suck.
Sounds like a skill issue. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe I just suck and I just don't get the same cycle every time. GG. Unlucky. Nothing I can do about that. Speaking of, whatever. We have to make it to that door fast enough. There are cycles in here. I'm not making any of them because they're stupid cycles and I hate them. And there's so many dumb things that can go wrong.
That is the other thing about Manor is that it's so congested. Like there's so many things going on at once that it's really difficult to traverse it sometimes. This is another reason why coming back here later is very key. It's because of the plungers. Like we would have just completely missed out on those snacks and backtracking would have been horrible.
Yeah. Also, what you notice with the plungers there is I was actually jumping. I'm just gonna chill, I guess. But what you notice is I was actually doing a jump on the roof, and that's just so I can initiate my B dash again because I guess we haven't really talked about B dashing much, but B dashing is the fastest way to move, which is what you've been seeing me do the whole time. And basically, this is really useful over longer distances, which is why sometimes you actually don't see me B dash over certain distances just because they're shorter and we have to input a jump or something. But since we're going over those long distances, whenever you walk with plungers, you actually walk slower than you do when you're regular walking, so it's really, really punishing. So what you see us do is you actually jump, and if you basically input the B button, if you basically if you input B as soon as you land on a slanted surface, you can buffer out that input. And then the game registers as you B dashing before it registers the slope. And that's just how that works. And so you're allowed to move Smile. I got shot in the head.
Completely obliterated.
I did.
Yeah. The cartoon
we're
just shot in the head. What a note. That's like the last thing that should happen to that. Anyway,
I'm just gonna wait now. I'm gonna be a good boy. Yeah. I'm just gonna wait for these to fire
Slow
off.
And steady
they fire off in the same way every single time, but
yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna see Shaggy fall down.
Oh, this is the time where we actually use Shaggy. This is the only time we use Shaggy. Actually.
Yeah, but is this really helping him though? Like I feel like we're just putting him in a worse. We're just using him to our benefit.
Using him.
Yeah,
we're using him.
We're great friends. We're the worst friends to Shaggy ever. We stand on his head as he rocket launches towards the sky to collect food and keys, and that's it. Yippee! But anyway, now we're here at the Black Knight boss fight.
The last point of RNG in the run. Yippee!
Yeah. Well, now you ruined it. I was gonna say, guess what kind of boss fight this is gonna be.
Oh, yeah. It's
based on what we've.
Sorry,
yeah,
I stole your thunder.
Nah, it's fine.
This is the worst RNG in the game, though. Outside of coffins, this is the worst. Actually, this is even worse than coffins because it's even more
options
random.
to fail. Yeah.
Yeah. There's more points of failure. There's 8 points of failure rather than 4.
Yeah. It's essentially the same thing as Green Ghost, where you have to wait for him to be at a certain spot and you press a button. But now, because there's 4 buttons and 3 different places he can stop that isn't at a button, It's just bad.
Oh, let's go.
That's
yes.
very nice. That is great.
That makes it for
RNG.
coffins.
Yeah, because he always goes
basically
back to the
perfect
middle.
Black Knight RNG.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh my god, that's so great.
The game was like, you know,
The game
you were
owed me that after
gambling.
coffins.
Yeah, you was like, you gambled so much that we'll give you this little freebie.
Yes, we're out.
There we go. Now we have the fake J's. We got the galoshes now.
Fun fact about Black Knight is I had a 135 pace or something. Or wait, 137? I don't know. What's my PB? I don't remember. It's a minute. I had a minute below my PB pace. Yeah, I have a minute below a PB pace that I have. I had to run on PB pace a minute below my current record. It would have been ridiculous. I lost 2 minutes to Black Knight and my run died. It was really cool.
That's fun.
Yep. But this is an example of we are now going through the manor levels backwards, which means that we're supposed to be collecting keys in order to unlock the door. But since we're going through it backwards, we don't have to collect the keys. And so we also avoid the cutscene here. There's a cutscene here by killing those guys. You basically de-trigger the cutscene from playing. Which means you just go backwards through this level really, really quickly. You don't have to wait on any cycles. You don't have to wait on anything. You just go straight through. And now we're on DLD 1. And we're also going to avoid another cutscene hopefully.
At the very,
I really like hitting this cutscene trigger. I really love hitting this one. But we're going to be hopefully bypassing a cutscene trigger here as well. And also just like, since we spawn on this side, we actually get to do the carpet earlier, which also helps out as well.
Yeah,
because the carpet, like, you just have to ride because they're like literally floating in thin air. And also, there's a really cool thing that we're about to do here, which is like trampoline skid jumping, something like that. You know what? Let's just I'll just shut up and you can just see it. I missed it. I suck. Hold on.
Yeah, you should do it again.
Run it again. Run it again. Let's run it again. So we can extend the amount of skid frames on trampolines, which means we can go really far distances. And then, oh my goodness gracious. I haven't had to do that back up in a minute. But yeah, we basically extend the amount of coyote frames that we have with the skid on top of the trampoline, so you go really, really far while also being able to input both of your jumps. It's such a sick trick. It's so cool.
Very visually satisfying too.
Yeah, it's also just satisfying to do too.
Nice.
Yes.
No cutscene.
Yes.
Yay.
So no cutscene, and also there's a snack gate right there. You saw it briefly. We also skip paying the snack gate because if you spawn into a room where you have not paid the snack gate, you actually spawn behind the snack gate, so you don't have to pay it, which means that we get to save. Yeah, usually.
Yeah, there's one.
Which means.
Anyway.
Yeah, but who cares? We get to. Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna admit it.
Either way, we get to avoid that. What's it called? We get to avoid that snack gate. Really cool. Also, going through this all backwards is also faster than going through it forwards because of this whole debacle here. Very nice for us. And yeah, so this is actually something really funny that happens whenever we go through these levels backwards. So in the next room, basically you're supposed to have Shaggy stand on a button to open up a door so that you can get to this level. And so he needs to be standing on the button at all times for the thing to unlock. And so what you will notice is that there's a giant wall in our way. And so naturally, the solution to this is just leaving and re-entering the room, and it just magically disappears. It just goes away. Bye-bye. No more wall. It's basically, I don't really know why it works, to be honest.
It just has something to do with, depending on how you enter the level, or like there's a bunch of triggers all around this room so you can do certain things with Shaggy, but you're at the end of it, so it skips right to the end of like the system.
We have a music glitch.
Oh yeah, music glitch. And it usually happens when you just like exert. Yeah, I actually really don't understand how it fully works, but it usually happens when you like enter and re-enter a room rather quickly, although sometimes it can just randomly happen too, but it'll just loop the first like part of the song over and over again. It's very funny. quite amusing. You go a little bit crazy though, because I've had moments where I've practiced tricks where you just have to keep re-entering the room, and so for like 2 hours I hear burner, 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 burner. So
it's so good. You know, really good for your mental health to hear the same sound over and over again while you're practicing a really hard trick that like sometimes just doesn't work. This game's fun to play, promise.
Yeah, we promise. We promise this game's fun. Please play this game.
This room is routed fairly interesting, actually, because you normally, again, spawn on the other side of the room, but there's like 2 like chandeliers here, and basically just looping with the door, because the door allows you to clip through that invisible wall for whatever reason. Because normally that thing that I hit with my head removes the invisible wall, but you can clip through it with the door. I don't know why. You just can. And so we can do this like little like out and back loop thing. And basically all you need to know is that it allows us to charge more, which charging more is good because the more we charge, the faster we typically go. Yeah.
Yep.
And so, yeah, this is upstairs 1. Fun fact, you can actually void warp to the very beginning of this level. However, we have to collect the snacks, so we will not be doing that. But you did do that in very old AMT before pause storage was a thing, because you would basically backtrack to a warp gate. I'm getting hit twice, yep.
Yeah, this is the bad thing about going through levels backwards is when it's like this. And this level's already got so much going on with it in the first place that, like, you know, the camera is expecting you to have a different view of what you need to do to have things going on. That's an English sentence that I spoke with my mouth. Basically, it's like, you know, the camera's pointing in the wrong direction, so you can't see what you're doing. Wow, man, I'm so good at commentating runs, guys. But, you know, you dodged all the obstacles. You didn't die. You did the good gamer stuff. But now, because of this shortcut here, we're going to do what Nasani was talking about earlier with this kind of whole level system being in a loop. Is we're going to go back to like the very first level in the game. Remember we were talking to Holly and she gave us a map or whatever. Now we're here.
I don't remember. Can you describe that situation a bit more? I don't remember.
A long time ago, when I was very young. No. Specifically an hour younger.
Ooh.
Yeah. But we're gonna go through and get all these snacks, and we'll end up back in big old fan room where we needed the umbrella for. They have 5. This is so off topic. They have 5 different theremin waveform things in the files, and they only use that one. All the other ones are unused. It's very unfortunate, very underused.
I actually did not know that.
But there you go. Yep.
What useless information.
Yeah. Yep. I can't remember.
Though.
Yeah, I can't remember important things like my license plate number, but I remember Scooby-Doo never file structure. So, good for me, I guess. But anyway, boy. Yeah, these levels are pretty straightforward. It's what we've been usually doing. You get the snacks and you break it up into chunks and do a lot. But this next level will hopefully look. The level after this will hopefully look a little familiar because we'll be back on track to where we were, and we'll do that backtracking again. Yeah, it's a good old fun time here in the manor. Very nostalgic for these levels, personally. Bonk. Not gonna remark on that weird noise you made. And it's, you know, just a very nostalgic. I love the manor levels. I feel like a lot of speedrunners don't like the manor levels because, you know, usually there's a lot going on and you kind of like big, wide open areas where you can do whatever you want. This is very limiting, but I don't know. It's good.
So this is the other side.
Yeah, there you go.
And basically, again, we get whoa. Basically what we do is that, again, we don't have to play the cutscene twice, which is really cool, really good. And this is where we took the fan before. We are now no longer going to take the fan because we are going to do the other half of this level, and we're also going to do mine 2 and 3. And then we're basically out of the 3 main sections of the game, and we're going to do Skull Cliff, and then we're going to start backtracking, and then the game's going to end fairly quickly after we get through all that. But we're going to do something cool here where there is a cutscene trigger that is really long and really cringe, and we're just going to jump over it. Smile. Then we're just gonna get all the keys and make our way through here. This level was actually optimized in NLE specifically, not in Hundo, which is actually funny. Because in NLE, okay, well, I don't get to show you because I suck. But in NLE, there is a cycle that I was about to hit, and then I didn't. But basically, like you collect a lot of snacks in NLE. So a lot of times, I like to make the joke that NLE is just Hundo light. Like
It stands
just,
for no levels
you know,
early, if you forgot.
Oh, yeah. It's basically discount Hundo where you have to enter the levels in the correct order, which we obviously don't do in Hundo. But a lot of what happens is that you have to collect a lot of snacks because there's a lot of snack gates in the game. And so a lot of rooms you just Hundo. Like this is one of them where you Hundo it in NLA. And so they actually found a cycle in NLA that makes it faster, conveniently, for Hundo as well. And this is another episode where we say the soap is useless to us and we do not use it. You're supposed to soap that ghost to get that troll snack that you cannot see, Smile. But we're just going to do it ourselves, Smile.
There's a lot of trolling going on in this level, in all honesty. You can get trapped under these carpets, and then you can just fall to the endless smoky pit below. There's a sandwich right there that you can't collect because it's behind an invisible wall. Just a lot of weird stuff in this level.
Yeah. And if you didn't notice those snacks and you were wondering why you're missing snacks, there you go. That's your reason. You're supposed to like soap the ghosts, I think, to get up there. We just jump on invisible walls and the carpets themselves. Smile.
Yep, you're welcome.
It's really cool. Yeah, you're welcome. Now you can go Hundo this game because I know that's what you all wanted to do. Every single person in the chat was actually itching to boot up this game to 100% it, for sure.
They're like, finally!
Yes!
My guide is here.
This is where we finish our loop, and basically that where am I going? We get all snacks collected. That goes into upstairs, where we left and went back into Clamor. So a little bit of a loop-de-loop, but we end there because there's a warp gate there, and we can warp straight to Skull Cliff, and it's really cool.
Yep, and we die.
And speaking of really cool, we're gonna die.
Yep. There's a cutscene there, so we just skipped it.
We kill Scooby a lot in this game.
You know what I just realized? We didn't talk about
unintentionally. What's up?
Oh, I thought you were. I actually was very confident you were going to make it. I don't think we talked about frame perfects, did we?
I mentioned it briefly because I had one. Oh.
Okay. Never mind.
But basically, frame perfects. Basically, if you release the B button, so you know that when I have the helmet out and I'm dashing and I hit things and I play this bonking animation. You can cancel that bonking animation if you hit an enemy frame perfectly, and basically what that means is that you hit them and release the B button at the same time. If you do that, you cancel the animation. If you don't do that, you sit on the ground like an idiot. And there's a cycle you can hit in this level with only a frame perfect. I didn't hit the frame perfect, so we're not going to get the cycle. But brief thing to mention, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And this level is actually kind of cool when you go back to it, just because that gliding mechanic, you're normally not supposed to have that unlocked yet, but because we do, you can actually go through this level in any way you want. You can either go clockwise or counterclockwise in the circle, and as far as I know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's the exact same amount of time, because you're doing the same things and making the same jumps. You're just doing it in a different order. There's not really a room like that in this game.
I think it's technically the same amount of time. It's just the reason that we do it this way is because in any percent, well, I guess old any percent, not anymore, but in old any percent, you would actually go through Skull Cliff backwards. And so we found a natural cycle there that is very useful. And so since we've all done that cycle a bajillion million times, a lot of us just do it backwards. But you can do it forwards. But also, since you're floating with the umbrella, it doesn't matter with the floating with the umbrella. It's really just preference, yeah. It's just comfort for us, just because we've done the specific backwards movement so much.
Yeah, and right here we're gonna do a fun little thing where usually you'd have to press like one more button and have like this conveyor belt cutscene play, but we're gonna jump all the way on that collision and land right here and talk to this annoying guy, probably my least favorite enemy in the game.
This is the one time we used the soap bubble,
and that soap bubble is huge, by the way.
It's massive.
Like that's the biggest soap bubble in the game is when you soap that enemy.
Yeah, because normally they're like this size, very small, right?
Yeah. And that was like probably double the size, maybe even a little bit more.
Maybe like triple.
There's actually been a time where I foolishly soap that enemy and I fall off because it pushes me off the ledge. And then I'm like, well,
that's so funny. It's like, well, I was supposed to do that, but I guess not anymore.
But anyway, do a nice little jump right here. Make this platform cycle. I remember when that was
normally you
found,
have to wait for that platform. Yeah, normally you have to wait for that platform to do the thing. And normally, actually, the old strat for like years was to just get that arc and then die and then just wait for the platform to rise and fall. But there's a little lip that we can actually stand on, which you can get to by super smashing, which eliminates that and actually saves a good amount of time. I think it's like 10 seconds, maybe 15.
Yeah,
it's a decent chunk. It's really, really worth it to do. It's also fairly finicky, but it's not that bad once you get it. It's like if you're good at moving, it's a little finicky, and if you're bad at moving, it's hard.
Yeah. And you're probably wondering, wow, are we still in the same level that we were when you guys were talking about? Yep. This is the second longest level in the game. So this is that level we were talking about. There's not many snacks, and they're all pretty far apart, considering the size of this level.
So there's no snacks down there where those enemies are walking. There are literally 0 snacks. Why?
Yep.
No one knows. And there's like 4 snacks up here. You can see the 4 snacks. There's 4.
It's a little goofy.
It's just so troll. It's like they just forgot to add things.
Yep.
I don't know. But you get this cool cinematic, I guess.
Yeah.
Smile.
But now we're
also because the level's so long, you get to hear the guitar solo in the music. Very briefly.
A level's long when you actually hear the entirety of the song before it loops.
I need the snack.
Right here also, you might think, oh man, is this the end of the level? Because I saw a warp gate. No. We're actually going to be coming back to this level. But to reduce some backtracking, and because pause storage exists, we're going to come back here because now we have the soap and the gum. Either one, if you forgot, unlocks this area up here, removes an invisible wall. And we're going to use the charge attack here to dodge all these ghosts here, because if you remember, we can do that with the charge.
That was so clean.
It was very, very clean. And we got all snacks selected, which is great. So we're going to kill Scooby, we're going to warp back, and
basically,
take it away.
why that was cool is because, again, the charge attack shrinks your head. So if you're shrinking your hitbox, it's harder to hit the snacks. So you have to hit those in a very, very, very precise manner, which is why that was cool.
Yeah, and we have all these little hidden snacks here.
Guys, are you ready to lag? Any laggers? It's just churning. Just don't worry about it.
It's stickier than the actual tar in this game. Here we go. We never really figured out why that happens. But
I think it's just because there's so much water on the screen, to be honest.
Probably, or just something about how it loads. But we're done with that side of the map now. So now we're moving on to the sort of ship level side.
We are now backtracking.
Yep.
We have initiated our backtracking. We're about to back it up, chat. And so, basically we didn't do this level fully before. That's just because splitting this up into 2 is just a little bit faster. Because you can't access the trampoline from... Oh my god!
That's fun.
That's so troll. Anyway, you can't access you can't access the trampoline from this side because there's a giant invisible wall. So we just basically split it in 2. I have to do this again? So troll. Okay. Yeah.
But
so there's 4 snacks out here. We basically split it up in 2 because it's just easier, and then we just go like this, and then hey, we're actually using the galoshes. Crazy. First time we're using it. And then in Coast, we need the umbrella to do the backtracking here, and so now we have the umbrella. I actually do this in a very specific way so that I can get a very specific movement set on this fishnet that we can grab onto later on. Yeah, it's really cool. Smile. Yeah, because basically what we're going to do is we're going to do this, and if I do it correctly, we don't stop at all. And so
Wow, that's
normally you
actually
have to normally you have to do like a little dip there in order to get to that bottom stack, but you just hit it with that height perfectly. And it's very nice. It probably saves you like half a second, maybe a second, but it's cool and swag, and it just feels very nice to do, and I like it. And that's really just like that's 90% of things that I find in this game are just like really small things that just are cool. I don't really do a lot of the big finds. It's not really my thing, but this is again using the galoshes. Fun fact: you can actually do this without the galoshes. Oh my god, I need that. Me and Cole have actually done this without the galoshes in bingo because sometimes it's faster to do this level in bingo
I don't
without
like doing
the
it in bingo,
Black Knight.
but
He doesn't like doing it. I
has
like
to be
doing it
done.
though.
I always
Yeah.
forget
'Cause
where you gotta like
basically-
stand and jump. So
Basically any ledge. So like any like edge of the tar. I'll show it in a second because I'm actually going to come back up here because I'm not going to do this pause storage. Normally we'd actually pause storage here, but basically if you go to like the edge on here and you walk off, you notice my shoes went away, and when my
you're in
shoes
the
get away, you
air
can
now.
jump.
yeah.
Yeah, and you're basically using your coyote frames to initiate the jump, and so you can do that on any edge, right? And then you can also walk on ropes and stuff like that. There's a lot of things. Like it is a little finicky, but once you like just know where to walk, it becomes a lot easier. But also, it's just a very annoying thing to do because if you mess up one thing and you land on the tar, you're just like, cool.
Yeah. I'll just be walking now.
I'll just be walking now.
But yeah, every time
You can also do this without the galoshes as well, because you can
Yeah.
just jump on all those
That's
boxes as well.
they're really, and if there's tar, you don't need the galoshes. Pretty much. Like
You really
we've
don't.
pretty much found a way for everything.
Yeah,
Actually, I think that is an
you
absolute
don't,
statement.
You don't
Yeah.
need, you don't need the galoshes for anything in the game. Yeah, because you can get all of those without the galoshes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's funny. And this is you're breaking the Hundo run. You can take your hands off the controller. You've been rewarded for your efforts. You can. This is your only break because really you're kind of going the whole time. So this is your hand break. This game can be fairly hard on your hands if you don't have like trigger mods. Because basically, a thing we haven't really mentioned is that I'm holding down the R button the entire game.
Yeah, that's how you run.
Yeah, imagine holding down a GameCube spring, like just holding down a spring in general for 2 hours straight. Not fun. But, you know, I have triggers, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Because like the mods don't like change anything about how your character moves. It literally just helps your hand not be in pain. Like that's
Yeah.
It's really just like
It's not like an abuse, like a.
yeah. There's no
pro or
advantage.
whatever
There's
it's
no
called.
advantage.
Advantage.
There's no advantage granted other than the advantage of like your hands, like your hand health, which I don't believe is an advantage. It's your hand health.
That's just your hands. Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also,
You should keep those up.
This is the one room that Nisani was talking about where we just leave immediately.
Yeah, we just enter it and leave. There's nothing in there to collect. We just enter it and we leave, and then we go about our merry way, and we get cussing skip, music glitch, pog.
Yeah. So, and that's the
But now
place
we're actually
where.
gonna
Go ahead. Oh,
Go ahead.
We're on the same brain cell right now. I was just gonna say the monster gallery is where you would just view all those like monster token extra stuff that we did before. But now we're on our way back, and we're kind of wrapping up the game now. We're going to lab, and this level is pretty much right next to the entrance of lab. So we're going. Are you done? Please.
This is what Cole was talking about with the. It can get pretty annoying pretty quickly.
Yeah. Yep.
It's fun. Don't worry about it.
We have fun here.
But this is the end of the backtracking. So creepy is the last level that we need to backtrack to. This is called RBS or Redbeard Skip.
Wow.
Normally at any percent, you can jump up there, just like that, with those two ledges, and you can skip the Redbeard boss fight, which is why this game is 14 minutes long, because you can skip Redbeard. And then we're just gonna float over here, and we are now in lab, and this is now officially the last level set that we will be collecting things in, because we have collected everything in every other level. We do have a little mini checkpoint to you or to basically let us know that we have enough snacks, and then you just kind of have to trust that you have enough, that you have all the tokens. But lab is pretty annoying to collect snacks just because they're very sparsely laid out and they're just annoying. I don't like. This is probably my least favorite place to hundo in the game.
I would probably agree with you, actually. It is
because at least
annoying.
Skullcliff, you get the funny bubble, the funny big bubble. I like the funny bubble. There's no funny bubbles here.
I mean,
there's no
true.
funny bubbles here.
Yeah.
We're just running it
It's just a bunch of
down.
cutscenes with no bubbles. And very sparse
Yeah.
snacks.
Imagine if they put a bubble in this cutscene. It would be so much better.
Sick. Yeah. But anyway, I forget. Are you gonna do the backwards part 3?
No, it's slower.
Okay. There's a trick in AMT that they do where they can kind of break the sequence.
Yeah, but we don't do that in Hundo because we have to collect all the snacks, and watching the cutscene is faster than basically
Just doing that.
Oh my god.
Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is not how you're supposed to get this, by the way. But
No, you're
ledges
supposed to
are great.
soap or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. But basically, watching this cutscene is faster. Basically, there's a thing that you can do in AMT, which is going to the top of Lab 2 and jumping on a bunch of invisible walls and stuff in order to get there. But we don't need to do that because we have to collect all the snacks on the ground. So, I was invincible there for a second. That was kind of funny. Interesting. Don't know. Yeah, I jumped into the thing and I just did not take damage.
Away. Wow. Huh.
Okay.
That's weird. Cool.
Yeah, you could sometimes be invincible in this game. For some reason, I believe it
Yeah,
happened
I
in
only ever
Immortal,
see
I
that
think, where
in,
he was just invincible in Green Ghost, right?
Yeah, I've yeah. That's the most common place I see invincibility, and we really don't know why it works, but maybe one day we'll just always be invincible, and that would be cool.
It wouldn't really be useful that much, to be honest.
Well, you could go
I guess it would
backwards
be
and
most
gas
useful
one.
for this category, you know?
Yeah, it'd be very useful for this category and other categories where you go everywhere, but there we go. That is hopefully the last monster token
I'm
right
the goat.
there. Yeah, very.
That was a crazy
That
snag grab.
Yeah.
That was so good.
And man, I'm feeling that our time is almost up. It's almost over now. It's kind of hard to believe.
It is.
That,
Yeah, and so basically, the AMT strat that we were talking about is basically coming up here and entering through that door. But we have to float down and get these snacks anyway, so we're kind of doing an out and back thing. It's just a lot of wasted movement when you could just watch the cutscene.
Yeah.
The cutscene's not that long. Hello? Thank you. Sometimes the camera's really fun, by the way. It's just like, please change it. I'm above an acid pit. If I hit it, I'm going to die.
And Nisani was mentioning our little check mark here to make sure that we kind of have enough snacks.
33334.
Yep, that's our
Pretty
snack
easy to
bar right
remember,
now.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we should be all good. We got everything we needed. We entered every level, and now it's time to just finish collecting the snacks in the next room here and beat the final boss.
Yep. And then, depending on how we're doing on time, basically a tradition of Hundo runs is that you watch the credits, which is about 7 minutes, and then you verify you have Hundo. If we have time for that, we can do that. If we don't have to do it. I can just tell you that we do have 100%. Trust me, bro.
We have time for it.
Okay, then we can check it. And then we can also check out Scoop Step, which is definitely the best song in the game, and it's not
That's
close.
true. Very true.
But yeah, this is the last room where we're going to be collecting snacks, and then the next room we're going to be fighting Mastermind, which is the final boss. And then this guy's going to see me.
I see.
And then we're just going to... I see you.
We're not going to help Shaggy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, we just start saying all the. But you see Shaggy hanging by a crane with a shark trying to eat him. Yeah, we're just gonna ignore him. We're gonna do
because we can just click through this door.
Yep.
Walls
So,
don't exist in the game. Don't worry about it.
Shaggy's just dead now. We don't ever.
Yeah.
He's gone.
It's
It's a little
nothing
sad.
you can do about it, honestly.
Yeah. I don't know what you can do. Yeah.
Oh, he's actually there. He
Oh,
figured
there
it
you
out.
Hey, what's up, man?
Oh, hey, man.
I'm glad to see you're all right.
And speaking of walls being bad, walls are really bad in the game. Just don't worry about it.
Yeah, it skips a phase of the boss fight.
Yeah, you can explain this. Go ahead. Have fun.
Yeah, so basically, there's 2 parts of this boss fight, and we're in part 1 right now. And part 1 has 3 phases, but we skipped the first one by clipping through that wall. And now we're going to skip a second one by perfectly timing these button presses here, which tricks the game into thinking we already did the last, like, enemy wave. Just like that. You just got to delay your presses 5 seconds in between, and then boom, now we're on to part 2. And Mastermind's going to spawn on the floor, and the name of the game is that we're going to bonk on his head and push him into the electricity in the background there. And timer ends right when you hear the Mastermind get shocked by the electricity.
All right, so 3, 2, 1, and time. That is the time.
Boom.
Timer does stop on the hit. And basically what happens here is that when you verify hundo, if for some reason you don't have 100%, you then go afterwards and collect your thing for the 100%, which means that you just lose 7 minutes off your time immediately. So
Yeah.
ideally you do your backtracking before you get to Mastermind. So like that's why we have the visual indicator right before the 850 gate, the 3334. That indicator basically is like, excuse me. That indicator is basically like, hey, do you have enough snacks? If yes, keep going. Then you can also do this thing where you can open up the map, and the map will actually tell you if you have collected the monster token in a level set, and if you've collected all snacks. So you can check exactly where your snack is missing. You can check if you're missing a monster token, or you can just know that you didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is Don Knotts, by the way.
There he is.
Anytime some ghost scares somebody
Look at
off a well-kept
Who do you guys
garden,
think was the
it's
main
just
bad guy
enough to be
that we
eradicated.
didn't even talk about the plot at all in this game? Not that it's that important. But, well, you're about to find out without even knowing the plot. But,
Spoiler alert, guys. We're going to find out who the mastermind is. Spoiler alert for
Who
a
is it?
2002
Oh.
game.
It's Professor Alexander Graham.
oh my gosh.
Professor Alexander
Alexander
Graham.
Graham. Oh, me? Oh, my.
Uncle
Uncle Alexander. I've heard this cutscene too many times. I knew it all the time.
I just want to give a
Doesn't
fun
add up.
fact is that I still don't really know the story of the game, and I didn't know that Holly was the mastermind, and I didn't know that she was a hologram until probably like a year and a half into speedrunning the game.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
What? How?
I just didn't
Just
know.
oh, because you could put. Yeah, because you don't have to. Oh my gosh. You don't
Yeah,
have to
because
watch this
in any percent you don't watch the cutscene. What I do is I just
and-
quit the game.
Yeah, and you also like you didn't play the game as a kid. Like you just started speedrunning it.
I also play this game without sound, and if you play the game without sound, all the voices are gone. So if you turn the music all the way down, this cutscene is just air.
Really?
It's just-
Oh, I actually
it's
didn't
just
even know
yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's just the images. So it's like even more of like, oh, I don't know. Because even if I were to watch the credits,
It's just a bunch of pictures of people. Like, yeah, okay, I saw those people in the
It's a
game.
silent
Cool.
film.
and then normally I like get up and walk away or something.
That's funny.
Suck you
Yeah,
up or hey yo. Anyway,
A 7-minute cutscene is like, that's time for you to go fill your water. That's
pretty much, yeah.
to stretch, take a hike. Yeah, like, you got
I'm
better
just like
things to do than
waiting and
watch
be
the
like, all
cutscene.
right, I'll go get some food. I'll take a bathroom break. I just did a 2-hour hundo run. I'm gonna go take a bathroom break. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And hope that I come back to 100%.
Yeah, and if you don't,
Yeah.
you're like, well, run's dead. +8.
Yeah.
Smile.
Yeah. But again, I feel like once you make a mistake in this category, you never want to make it ever again. So then you just never want to forget. This category is brutal, usually when you forget
Yeah.
something.
Because even like if you do forget something, let's say, a lot of times it's like in the middle of the level. So you can warp sometimes close to where you are, but there's certain levels like upstairs like 4, for example, or upstairs 3. So far and out of the way to get to because there's like no warp gates like near you. Well, there's a warp gate in upstairs 4. That's a bad example. Whatever. You know what? Skullcliff 4. Horrendous level to miss a snack in. No, there's a warp gate there. Oh my god.
How about upstairs 1 or upstairs 2?
Well, upstairs 1, there's the Mine 3 warp gate.
Yeah, but if
There
it's like
is a
on
level.
all the other side of the world. Oh, dude, Crypt 2.
That's true. Upstairs 2, actually. Upstairs 2 is probably the worst. Upstairs 2 is really bad to miss a snack in. Yeah. Because you either have to go backwards all the way through 4 and 3 to get to 2, or you have to go all the way through 1. So that's pretty bad. There's probably a worse spot. I don't know. Anyway, Scoop Step.
It's brutal.
And Eric, Lord of 10K Hernandez.
Yes. Yeah. There's also there's so many great Shrunken Head. I think there's Bug Killer.
Who?
Yeah.
I just want to say Bug Killer did not do a very good job.
Ow! Ouch!
we beat the game in 14 minutes, guys. It's you know. Harbel Mongoose Illustra. Z-Bala
Yeah,
Shotgun.
Zibala. Yeah, I don't. There's some real inside jokes here that are just lost to 20 years, but
To 2002, really.
yeah.
You know?
There's some. It's actually, I'm just. I have no life, and so I'm like, I look up these people. I'm like, what
Shouts
else
to
do they
Gary
do?
Butt Boy.
Go butt boy. What? Imagine being a kid and beating this game, and then you just see butt boy. But yeah, there's some people now that like they work at Apple. Like I think the main guy this game made helped make the Vision Pro. Like this game, you know,
That's so good. That's crazy.
yeah.
There's the Bug Killer.
There's the Bug Killer. Yeah. Noodles and Hollywood. That guy. Imagine your nickname is that guy.
That guy.
Wow.
At least you know they had fun while making the game, you know?
That's true. That's pretty true.
That is crazy that it just randomly a dude that worked on this game that made the Apple Vision Pro.
Yeah.
All
It's
I'm
wild.
hearing is that this game was an integral part in the development of the Apple Vision Pro.
That's
That's
exactly.
true. Yeah.
This was a canon event. This was a pivotal moment in society. That's all I'm trying to say.
This is the prequel to the Apple Vision Pro.
Yes. Also, Tim Curry voiced Mastermind. If anybody knows, like, what am I blanking? Like the old It or Rocky Horror Picture Show. That's the other one. If you're familiar with those, there you go. They got a full celebrity cast here, and look at all those celebrities. Because of this game, they're doing pretty well for themselves now. I've heard. You know,
It's true. This put them on the map.
exactly.
Oh boy. And speaking of on the map, we're not really going to open the map, but we're going to go save the game here. And so basically we're going to save the game, and then this should be not 9% anymore. It should be 100%. So we're going to do one of these. And hundo.
Hey.
And now it is officially verified. It's a legal run.
Hooray.
And that's it. So cool. We're gonna get out of here. I didn't really have any shout outs for myself. Just be sure to watch June 18th, the marathon event.
Yeah.
Hotfix is putting on this weekend. It's gonna be hype. Lots of really great runners. I'm not gonna be in it this year just because I didn't really have anything new to offer, but there's gonna be a lot of runners with a lot of cool stuff. So you should check it out. And yeah, that's all I really have to say. Thanks for having me.
Yeah,
absolutely.
thank you for having us.
Anything you want to say?
I'm sorry, me?
Yeah,
Go follow Nasani on Twitch. He's awesome.
absolutely.
Twitch.tv/Nasani. And then I'll be a selfish guy. Follow my YouTube. Look up Coley's
You did
Scooby
upload
on
a video
YouTube.
today.
I did upload. Yeah. So
And
it's not
it's
about
about
this
another.
game. Though.
It's about a dog game.
It's about another dog game. That's true. But
This guy loves playing video games about dogs.
I guess so. I don't know why that. I guess my parents just, as a kid, bought games like that for me. I don't know. A weird niche. But yeah, thank you for having us.
We've got a few minutes here. You're a little early. You wanted to showcase something. How long will that take?
I can just showcase some things. Yeah, you can just tell me when to shut up.
You had the it was I don't
What was
remember
my
the
time?
trick. It was the Scooby thing. Your time was 1:47:13.
Oh my gosh!
Crazy. Well,
Wow.
here's one of the coolest void orbs in the game. So basically, in Skull 4, you can get out of bounds like this. And then, so now we're out of bounds. And this is actually what you do in old any percent, or in fishy skip any percent, where you just run across here. And then this is a void opening. So this is a much better visual indicator where you jump into the void, right? I'm just in the void. I'm going to fall forever. There's a fail safe. And it warps us to the intended beginning entrance of a level. So we're in Skull 4. If I go through here, I'm going to go Skull 4 to Skull 3. And again, if you all remember Skull 4, the longest level in the game, really, really, really far to like go through. And so this saves a ton of time at any percent. So we actually like going backwards through Skull Cliff saves 2 minutes to get to the helmet, I believe. And Skull 4 specifically saves 1 minute of that by itself, which is like kind of interesting. And then I can just show some more tricks, just because why not?
Yeah, why not?
There's another cool skid jump that you can do in Fishy 1 that we did not do in Hundo, just because there's just more snacks that we need to collect. But if you go to basically this side here, in AMT you could do this thing where you go to the top of this. And basically, let's see if I remember how to do this trick. You basically come down here and you... run it again. And then you can make it all the way up here, and then you can get the monster token. So that's pretty sick. And that just really shows you, again, a much better visual indicator of how far you can go without having to like ride the platforms and stuff. Is there anything else? I guess I could show the lab thing that we mentioned earlier in the run too. Also, yes, I'm just casually doing a bunch of pause storages. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you've got time for this one.
All right. So basically, I'm going to get a better camera angle first. So basically, to get to the top here, you basically just kind of jump along this wall here. And then hopefully you remember where you need to jump to on the wall as you're doing the trick. And then you just kind of float across. I did not press the button. So I had to press this button first. So now we're gonna... I forgot, because you don't press the button in Hundo. Yeah, but okay, we're gonna do that. We're jumping up on the wall. There's just a bunch of invisible ledges that we're jumping on here. Don't worry about it. But now we're gonna float across, and if we do this well, we actually don't have to super smash there. And then we just jump like this, and we just move on our way all the way up to the top. And then we enter this, and now we're at the top of Lab 3, which again in AMT really useful because we can get the token at the bottom, and then there's a token right here up at the top. Boop, boop. And then we just get that, and then we just leave again. So just some cool movement tech there for you guys, real quick. Because I accidentally just played out of my mind.
Yeah, absolutely. You crushed it.
Sorry about that. Yeah. Local man struggles from being too good at video games.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I want to.
Oh, no, we're good.
I think Church said we're good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to say thank you both so much for being on. Y'all absolutely nerd. I had a blast, hanging out with you for the past 2 hours. Definitely go check out both of these people. Definitely both fantastic runners. Again, thank you so much. And we do have more show coming up. We're gonna have Sly 4 next. Just a quick reminder before we go to our break for that. If you have missed out on any of our other shows or events, you can go watch all of the VODs over at youtube.com/gamesgonequick. They do get uploaded there, usually a couple days afterwards. And if you're on YouTube right now watching, don't forget to press the like button on the video, subscribe to the channel. It does help us out more. With that said, we'll be back in just a few minutes with Sly 4. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. Today, we are showcasing just some games I wanted to have on. We've got Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time. I'll hand it over to y'all. I'll let y'all introduce yourselves.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Zick. I'm joined here by my commentator, Nave.
Hello, everybody. I'm Nave357. How you doing?
Yeah, so we're going to be doing what I would say is a little SGDQ preview. We have Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time. So specifically, we're going to be doing episode 1. So if you are familiar with Sly Cooper, the games are very broken up into different episodes. So we are going to be doing just one episode of the game, one segment of Sly 4. So yeah, I guess I can go ahead and get us started, and then we can just start talking about this beautiful video game. All right, we can go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, Zik.
Thank you.
LHF.
We will start with a beautiful loading screen.
You're gonna see a lot of these. Sly Cooper Thieves in Time on the PS3 is notorious for having some ridiculous load times.
Yeah, especially if you play on the disc version, you actually lose, I think it's like 27 minutes in a full game speedrun if you play on disc. But thankfully, Zik is smart. He's playing on the digital download version, which is really nice.
Specifically with a solid state drive for those snappy loads.
Yeah, so that's actually a Sony endorsed modification you can make to your PlayStation console. You can replace the standard hard disk drive that comes in it with an SSD, a solid state drive, which increases the load times. And in episode 1 specifically, SSD saves 27 seconds on average. And in a full game, it saves on average about 3.5 minutes. So pretty good amount of time save. Speaking of time save, I've barely had time to say anything before Zik's almost done with the first job. So if you're wondering what's going on, the first job in pretty much any of Slide 2, 3, or 4 episodes is to do reconnaissance. So we're taking pictures of the area, and this last picture here is El Jefe. I like to call him El Jeff.
El Jeff.
He's the main villain of episode 1 here, which is set in feudal Japan, 1600s, something like that. This whole game, as you might imply from the title, is about time travel.
Yeah, Sly 4 has I don't know, sometimes has a reputation around it of being the black sheep of the Sly series, but I find it to be a really enjoyable game to play.
Yeah, honestly, it is just fun to play. Like, it's fine. It gets a little bit too much hate, I would say. It's really not that bad. It came out in 2013, where Sly 3 came out in 2005. So, pretty big gap between sequels there. And once this finally came out, the art style's very different. The physics feels really weird if you're used to the originals. So it kind of just threw people off. Thankfully, they did keep the original voice actors, which was a huge plus because those guys are our childhood and we love them.
And so it's interesting that, while you're correct that a lot of things physics-wise might not feel very different, there's still a lot of similarities in the different movement tech and the way you move around as Sly. One of the notable things we're going to use a lot throughout here is circle boosting, where we can use the circle button. You could use the circle button to latch onto objects and poles and stuff, but we can kind of press that with the timing on our double jump to latch onto objects very quickly.
Exactly. So you just press X and then circle within a frame of each other, and that will make Sly attach really quickly to some sort of nearby thief move object, like a rope or a spire point or whatever it might be.
And in Sly 4, that range is wild.
Oh, it's huge. You're gonna see some really impressive circle boosts throughout this run. You'd be like, "Can I attach to that?" And then Zik zips across the sky and attaches to it. You'll also see he's using the paraglider a lot. And in this game, one thing people might have complained about is that if you fall from a really tall height, then Sly will do a superhero landing where the camera zooms in, time slows down a little bit, and obviously that's not very good for speedrunning. It's just a little bit slow. So using the paraglider will kind of buffer that. It'll you know, help break your fall, if you will. But it has more uses than just breaking your fall, which we're going to see pretty soon. I'll explain it once we get there. Right now we are stealing pieces to a samurai costume. We've got them all. We're going to use it to gain access to the prison to free our good pal Ryoichi Cooper, which is actually Sly Cooper's ancestor.
Yeah, it's kind of the fun mechanic of Sly 4 is that because of time travel, you get to go throughout all the episodes and play as the different ancestors of Sly that you learn about in the first game.
I've never heard of you.
Yeah, I remember as a kid when I learned about Ryoichi in Sly 1, I was like, oh dude, that guy seems so cool. So being able to actually like meet him in this game is pretty awesome.
If only we got to play as legends like BF Cooper.
Very sorry, sir.
Right, Thaddeus Winslow Cooper. Ryoichi's really cool though. He's gonna have some really unique mechanics to his gameplay once we get to that. But first we obviously need to free him from this prison. And this prison this prison can be really tough. It's honestly one of the most difficult sections of maybe the whole game, at least of episode 1.
Yeah, definitely.
And recently in the Sly community, especially for Sly 4, there has been a lot of new strats and updates that are cooking basically every day. So this game typically doesn't really have like out of bounds movements or anything like that you might see in Sly 1. But recently, there has been one found for this area. But it's brand new. It's still kind of... like I said, it's brand new.
I literally watched the video today.
Yeah, most people haven't really gotten into it yet, but it's really interesting what people are starting to find the more that we tinker around in this.
All right, so this part's kind of notorious here.
So these dragons spit fire, which will instantly kill you. The axes don't instantly kill you, but getting around the fire and the axes is really tough. Zig did a fantastic job there. Yeah. Using the paraglider, we're able to get over some of their hitboxes, and also using the paraglider, we're able to do something called paraclimbing, which he does against that sloped surface there in order to climb the slope and just glide over the guard. So we're avoiding having to use the costume constantly to get past that.
Yeah, paraclimbing's nice. You can use that on any like sloped surface. You can just keep spamming the paraglider and you just slowly gain little bits of height.
Exactly. And you're killing it. I can't even keep up.
I was gonna say this has been a really good breakout so far.
Yeah, this, like I was saying at the beginning of this section, the Imperial Prison's one of the toughest parts of episode 1, if not the whole game, and Zik is just flying through it.
Okay, got our key. So now we get to show off one of the features of the samurai armor, because we said it's resistant to fire. It also has a shield attack, which can reflect fireballs back at objects.
And interestingly, you'll notice he kind of releases the shield and then the fireball still bounces off despite the animation basically being done. You can do it pretty early and it still just works, which is something that we're going to use to our advantage at the very end of this run as well.
Yeah, the lingering hitbox on the shield actually is kind of ridiculous how long it lasts.
Hold on, Ryoichi.
Zig, of course, knowing where all of these objects will spawn, can just immediately start paragliding to the next section without really needing to wait on them.
Oh, there was a good circle boost right there.
That's what we're talking about. Circle boosts. You would see that and think, oh, I can't reach that, and then he just zips right across.
The game even doesn't intend you to spawn you a little platform you're supposed to go on, but with a good timed circle boost, you can just skip over waiting for that platform to spawn.
So this is Ryoichi Cooper. He's been imprisoned by somebody who also time traveled because they're trying to stop the Cooper family. But we're gonna free him, and soon we'll be playing as him as well. But
that is a terrible lock.
Yeah,
just kind of hit it with a stick. It's like broken.
Guess they don't really have good lock technology in the 1600s. Not yet. Something else I wanted to mention that we've seen it a lot but haven't really touched on it. This game has something that none of the other Sly Cooper games has, which is the ability to pause and skip cinematic. You're able to do that for most cutscenes except for ones like this where it leads to a load at the end of it. So we have to watch ones like that, but the rest, it's a super nice feature. It saves probably like hours over the course of the speed run.
There's
Just be able to
also
skip them.
animated cutscenes, like right there was one that you just skip by pressing the circle button. So you have different
Exactly.
cutscene skips. So you have to pay attention. You can't just press start for every cutscene. Some are circle and some are start.
That's true. There is a in the operation, there's a chalk talk cutscene as they're called, and for those, rather than pressing start, you do have to press circle. In fact, if you press start, I think it will soft lock the game or something. So you do have to be a little careful.
There's
But,
a weird
for
level of
entering-
optimization of the game of just knowing which cutscenes to pause for.
Yeah. For entering job triggers like this, just pause, skip cinematic, very easy. So what we're gonna do with Ryoichi now is he's famous as a sushi chef in this world.
He
And,
invented sushi.
Yeah, that's true. He invented sushi, and the guards have taken over his sushi shop. We need to get it back for reasons, and that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna play as Ryoichi, which no matter how you feel about this game, you can't argue against it. Playing as the ancestors is pretty cool.
Yeah, and Ryoichi's movement tech is honestly one of the most fun of the ancestors, I would say. The dragon leap
Yeah, I could
is
agree
just a
with
ton
that.
of fun.
Him or Salim, I think.
Yeah,
Do you want me to explain his movement tech here?
sure, go for it.
Yeah, so you just saw really quickly, he used a technique that he alluded to called Dragon Leap, where whenever you're on a spire point, if you hold R2, you can choose a target. You might have noticed there was an arrow from his sitting position, and he can choose a target and instantly jump to it with the Dragon Leap technique, like right here. And it goes pretty far, pretty fast. Interestingly enough, no matter how far the target is, it could be 200 feet away or 2 feet away. The amount of time it takes to Dragon Leap is always the exact same amount of time.
And we're actually going to use the Dragon Leap here. This was kind of a recent development. We're going to do a pretty cool little, a goofy looking skip here to skip through this room.
Yeah, this is actually something I never learned, so you know more about it than I do.
Yeah, so there's actually a spire point on the other side of this wall. And so we hit it and you just spam jump. And he just kind of climbs his way over that object.
It just looks so funny.
It's so goofy, but it's faster than like dragon leaping around the room like you're supposed to, because like Nate said, there's a bunch of little dragon leaps in that room, but each one takes, you know, the same amount of time. So it's leap, 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 rather than just doing this goofy launch.
Exactly. Another thing about Ryoichi, he has a silent sprint, so if you are sprinting
So
behind
nice.
guards, they'll normally hear you if you're like Sly or Bentley or Murray, but Ryoichi cannot be heard, which is very convenient.
Yeah, it's really nice. He has that little passive.
Now we have turned on the power, freaked out the guards, and I guess we got our sushi shop back.
We got the sushi
Cool.
shop back. And our sushi knives.
True.
They stole them and just gave them the random guards. So like, here, you can have these.
Surely you can be trusted with this. So next is a, well, maybe a little bit of a dreaded sequence for speedrunners. But I have to say, I think that casually, at least maybe the first couple times that I played this, I thought it was really cool. So if you ever played any of the Sly Cooper games, you know Bentley is the member of the group. He's who is like the brains of the operation. So he's a computer master, right? He knows how to hack computers. And so in all of the games, there is at least some form of hacking. But in this one, they really upped the hacking by putting, I want to say, was it three different types of hacking?
Yeah.
We went fishing, Bentley.
Yeah, 3. So this first one we're going to see here is called Alter Ego. And
I couldn't remember the name of it off the top of my head.
yeah, you'll probably understand why it's called that. Just take a look at Bentley here. You know, notice his character. This is what he looks like. This is who he is. And then once the load completes, you're going to see what he looks like within the hack. And
The
you might
true
understand why it's called Alter Ego. I remember seeing it the first time and just laughing, but honestly having a good time. Like, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, these, so yeah, there's unfortunately nothing we can do till the end of it to speed anything up. So here's our boy, Buff Bentley.
Buff Bentley. We got John Bentley Rambo here. And yeah, this is, as Zig's saying, no way to really speed it up. It is an auto-scroller until the very end. At the end of each Alter Ego hack, there is a boss that has to be defeated. It's supposed to represent the CPU of the computer, I guess. And there is a way to instantly kill it very quickly. It's not that difficult, but it's also just as easy to mess it up. So I believe Zik probably will be able to pull it off, but just keep a lookout for it.
Put this pressure on me.
We'll basically face tank into it. I have faith.
But yeah, so you get these little yellow, they're called the ionic bits, and
Oh yeah.
you can see in like the bottom left that we have a level, and so as we pick up the ionic bits, we level up, which you know, makes our gun faster. Then it turns into like a little three-way spread, and then you know keeps getting faster from there. We get like a little shield, missiles, and so for the quick kill that Nate was mentioning, we're going to want to be level 10 when we get to the boss, so we can get the most damage output from Bentley.
Exactly. It is an auto-scroller, but it is one that you do need to pay attention to. If you take damage, then your level goes down.
You lose
and
a
we want to
whole
avoid
level.
that.
No mercy.
You lose a whole level, and if you had like 4 out of 5 ionic bits to the next one, then you would lose all those too. It's a little rough.
Yeah, it's kind of punishing actually to take a hit. But we are at max level now. Here's our CPU cores. So once it spawns here, once I see its health bar, I'm just gonna ram my face into it and start blasting.
As all good hackers do.
Oh, I missed it.
That's okay.
I went too early,
That's
I
okay.
think.
Yeah, it looked like it, I don't know, it looked like it spawned the health bar kind of late.
Yeah, I think I because it kind of does a weird like bobbing motion, and I think I moved into it when it kind of bobbed backwards. So I didn't get inside the hitbox as much as I should have.
They're pretty easy to mess up, but even though he didn't quite get the quick kill, you could have noticed he took the health down really far, really fast.
See if
Also,
I can get a
nice
quick
belt.
cutscene here.
Oh.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Wow. You know what? That completely makes up for it. That was impressive. So,
Blind cutscene skipping.
so, okay. If you're familiar with speedruns, then you obviously know that CSS stands for cutscene skip. Well, in this game, we have ICSS, which stands for instant cutscene skip. And you have to pause on a 1-frame window in order to hit those. If you pause later than that, you won't be able to skip it. And Zik was actually able to get a very tough one right there that you hardly ever see anyone go for it. I can't believe he got that. But yeah, now we're playing as Murray in the sashimi caverns here.
Wait,
No,
these
this
are
is the
horrible.
fish caverns. Yeah, he's got some awful RNG. These lightning bugs, the way they spawn in, completely random, and the casual way is very slow to get rid of them, so we were trying to get a cycle to jump past them. But if they're in the way and you touch them, they'll shock you, you'll fall in the water. It's a terrible ordeal.
Do you like fishing minigames?
I love fishing minigames.
What do you think about motion controls in your video games?
Motion controls plus fishing minigames. I can't think of a better way to spend my Wednesday evening.
All right. So we have to catch these fish, and you move the little magnet rod by motion controls on the good old 6-axis PS3 controller.
Yep, you'll notice down by the timer, that is a live representation of how Zik is moving his controller in order to control this fishing hook magnet thing.
Just flinging it around like a madman here. Oh, that is good.
Oh, a 50 fish, that's pretty good.
That's not bad.
I take that.
I will say it is pretty cool that they at least show the controller that way
Yeah.
you know how much you're getting screwed.
Yeah. And it's not the only time we'll see it either, just you wait.
It just sucks. Like, I wish I could use like a PS4 controller for this game. Nope, motion controls. Gotta use this awful PS3 controller.
It also puts a pretty difficult bar into emulation or knockoff controllers. Basically have to have like a good first-party Sony controller. You can find third-party ones with 6-axis, but sometimes they're a little janky.
Can't be more janky than my controller that rattles. Are you kidding, Murray?
I need some more fish.
Murray, that was sad.
That was very
at the
unlucky.
thing.
So you'll notice that Zik is jumping a lot here, and that's just not a nervous tick or anything. It's actually faster to jump around as Murray rather than use his walking speed, and there we go. This time it actually locked onto the bucket. We're able to throw the bucket of fish over into that wheelbarrow, whatever you want to call it, because they can safely land there, but nowhere else apparently.
Nowhere else.
Thankfully, able to get past those lightning bugs using that lure, and we're done.
Well, that was disappointing.
You know, I mean, you still, honestly, hitting that ICSS at the beginning still has me impressed. And having a 50 fish, that's pretty
50
good.
fish is pretty good.
Take that. Lots, like this split, this job is a ton of RNG. That cannot be understated. It's a pretty tough split to do extremely optimally. Good job, Murray. Good job.
Good old rattly controller. There's something loose in this PS3 controller. I think it's the vibraty thing in the handle. So I call it my maraca.
That could make sense. Alright, and we get to play as Ryuichi again. More Cooper ancestor action.
Now this is the best job in the episode.
Well, you could say that. We'll get there. First, let's get through the good part, maybe. So yeah, this part we're going to try to. What even is the story of this job? I don't remember anymore, to be honest. I don't know why we do this.
Oh, we need to steal Madame Geisha's outfit so that we can infiltrate Jeff and figure out his plan.
Of course. Yeah, we're going to, yeah, well, that basically explains it. First, though, we have to actually get access to Madame Geisha's outfit, and to do that, we're going to be sending in Ryuichi here. And the Ryuichi section is pretty cool. There are some very tight cycles and movement in this job that make it really tough. Like, there's crazy cycle manipulations you can do with restarting checkpoint and whatnot. It can be a little tough to do it optimally.
Yeah, this job also has there's some interesting moments here. Specifically, those guards aren't great.
Ooh, that was the worst RNG possible.
Specifically, like these cutscenes where Ryuichi's gonna walk through these doors. It's actually faster to watch them than to pause and skip cinematic for how long it takes to actually pause the game and hit the skip button.
Exactly. And then all these spotlights you're seeing, these are what I was referring to with the cycles. You'll notice he kind of just barely got past a couple of those as they were moving around. And then right here we have this sumo wrestler trap that's also cycle based. These spotlights that we're about to go through are best manipulated by just restarting checkpoint so that it's not on this spire point you jump to. Otherwise, it'll shoot you, it'll track you down, it'll almost always hit you.
Yeah,
you can't hide from it, but it's inconsistent.
Yeah, you can actually make the spotlight
Nice.
if you have like perfect movement to that section, but it doesn't lose much time to just restart the checkpoint because like it has to be perfect movement to make the spotlight.
I mean, not only does it have to be perfect movement, it has to be movement in a specific area to manipulate the cycle in a specific way. It's very precise. So here's another hack. This one is called Spark Runner. As you can see from the controller on screen, that is a live representation of how Zik is moving his controller. It does require motion. And there's a lot of these like little time tokens you can pick up to extend the timer on the bottom.
I don't think I'm gonna
But
make
this, yeah, I mean, we have over a minute.
Over
you can do some
only a minute, you
optimizations.
mean?
Oh, under a minute now. This hack is honestly short enough that you could probably pick up none of them and it would be okay.
I think so.
Because the end is right here. Along these wires, you saw there were some wire swaps that you can do like extremely minor optimizations on, but really, you just get to the end and it's pretty easy.
So I like to do. There's like two ways because the ending is like it's like think of it like a golf ball hole, and you can find yourself just kind of like going around in a circle. The two ways people kind of say is like you can either like roll to it and flick the controller the other direction, or you can just turn the whole controller upside down and it just stops the motion controls from responding. It just kills it immediately.
You don't want to be bouncing around right at the end. No. So avoiding those spotlight cycles yet again. And we're about to be done with Ryoichi for now, but we're about to also start something pretty incredible.
Now this is speedrunning.
Now this. What are these guys cheering for? What do we got?
Something good's happening here.
What's I'm not looking at here? Oh!
Oh,
Murray.
yes.
Geisha Murray, you love to see it. So yeah, basically, in the cutscene we skipped, Murray accidentally falls into the geisha outfit and is just perfectly dressed and has makeup on and just somehow perfectly gets set up by falling into it. And so, to distract the guards, we're just gonna put on a dance show. Everybody put your favorite dance emotes in chat.
Yeah, I hope you like this song, so we're gonna be hearing it for a little while.
A little bit of another auto-scroller. Now you'll notice that these inputs Zik is doing have like these special glowing marks on them, and if you execute them all correctly, you get a bunch of coins. There are 3 sections of those glowing inputs, each gives 60 coins, so that gives you a total of 180 coins. That is actually very important for the coin route in full game runs, so as easy as it is to sort of tune out, you know, maybe not pay that much attention, you actually do kind of need to focus and make sure you at least get the money from this section. Otherwise, your coin route for full game runs might suffer a little bit.
But luckily, we don't need coins for just an episode run.
Exactly.
We're just gonna kind of chill out.
Chilling out, dancing. He's got the mad moves. One interesting tidbit about the song that's playing. I think it's some like 70s disco song, and it will sometimes cause issues on YouTube because I don't know.
It's copyrighted always.
It's very weird. Who's copywriting this song? Who even wants to claim this song?
Look at those L Jeff bucks they have.
Yeah,
I don't know where the coins
have
are
to
coming
admit,
from because these guys have Jeff bucks.
the Buku Bucks. I do love their reactions though. This is actually hilarious.
I also think that first circle input is unfair.
True. Like, oh, you're watching a cutscene and suddenly doing input.
First circle now.
Yeah. Thankfully, it's not one of the highlighted ones.
So we are going to miss a single note in this dance sequence. When we get to the end, it's faster to just flub the last input than wait for it and hit it correctly. And the failed
Really?
animation. Yeah. So instead of actually hitting it correctly and you just hit the triangle button immediately and it immediately ends the dance. It's just like a second faster.
Oh, nice. That is something I did not know.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go square, square, triangle. Oh, I accidentally hit it a little early. Yeah, you just hit it just right before it even appears, and even even if you just like don't hit the button, the fail fade out is faster. So it's better to
Nicely
just
done.
fail the last note.
They loved it.
They loved it.
I mean, both the guards and the chat. They all loved it. Thankfully, it's over, though. That was enough. That was enough.
So for the rest of the game, Murray wants to just do that.
Yeah.
Murray's gonna
You'll
stay in
notice
that
he-
outfit for the rest of the episode.
You'll notice he was zonked out from all the dancing, but he was still wearing it.
So now we get to play as Bentley.
Yeah, first time we're seeing playable Bentley. We've seen him in a cutscene or two. This is the first time we're going to see him as a playable character. And he's really interesting. So normally he can use his Binocucom can shoot like sleep darts or explosive darts and things like that. And he is also a demolitions expert. He can toss around bombs and whatnot.
Hate this card.
That guard is like always there.
Always there.
If you don't hit him, he won't shoot at you. That was a really good jump. That lantern jump that Zik just did, it looked very simple. He made it look simple. It's actually kind of precise. It's pretty tough.
And it's annoying if you have the guard that spawns there because he's chasing you, so you only get like one chance at it before that guard
Yeah.
comes to get you.
As quickly as we played as Bentley, we're now playing as his RC car, zooming around the map. And Zik, you might not have noticed, but he very quickly actually went out of bounds. He went into an area that was supposed to be fenced off, but the developers kind of just left a big gap that you could run right past. Super easy to do. And we just have to hit the ending triggers for each section, of which there are 3 sections, I believe.
Yeah.
And as he's passing these guards' flashlights, he can switch into a chicken costume because obviously they don't know a difference between a chicken and an RC car.
And by chicken costume, I mean a like baseball glove with a little piece of red on the top of it.
Whoa, that was a close
That
call.
was kind of close. Yeah, so the guard cycles are all random, whether they're like awake or asleep. And so sometimes you'll come up on a guard and he's asleep, but you didn't see him fall asleep. So you're like, did he just fall asleep? Can I zoom past? Because the chicken, you have a boost ability as the car, but you can't boost while you're in the chicken costume. So now you can preserve the momentum of the boost by like boosting and then switching, but you just have to be prepared for those things.
Yeah, you handled it really well. Didn't get caught once.
Yeah, it's very easy to get caught by those guards. So yeah, now we get to see why we stole the outfit to begin with.
Konnichiwa, Hefe.
Konnichiwa, Hefe-san.
Greetings, Madam Geisha.
He's gonna go ham on Murray's hand.
Oh, no. Yeah, Madam Geisha, who is, I think, a rhino or something.
Yeah.
Completely different animal from Murray, who's a hippo, but El Jefe just doesn't notice, I guess.
He's still going.
He doesn't look so sure about this, but I guess for the mission, Murray, stay strong.
For the mission.
So yeah, we stole L. Jeff's blueprints, we stole his plans.
The plan.
The plan. Cool, now we've got another Ryoichi section here, right? I
Yeah,
believe.
this one's very quick.
Oh yeah, this is probably the shortest job in the whole episode.
I think it is,
I
yeah.
can't believe we're actually almost done already. After this, we just have the operation.
Which is
Oh,
the
yeah.
longest thing in the episode, but
Yeah. So in this job, our goal as Ryoichi is to go to Sashimi Caverns, where we will get some poison plant stuff that we're going to use to make some poison sushi. It's not really poison, it's more like melatonin, I guess, because the guards, they eat all of the sushi and then they fall asleep, and that allows us to break into the palace where El Jefe is.
head on back to the fish cavern. So yeah, we have 2 poison plants we need to hit here.
Yeah, for the second one, there's some interesting strats. I don't know if you do them in your runs. Like the ninja star strat?
Yeah, do you do the ninja stars?
Yeah, so we'll see that when he gets to it. Hopefully, it's kind of tough. It's like a little bit RNG to pull off, honestly. And you'll understand what I mean once we get there. But first, do some dragon leaps around this high area. Hit the plant, and we'll extract the poison.
We're gonna skip it, but trust us, we're extracting the poison.
Yeah,
Just take our word for
it. Yeah. 1 out of 2 will run through into this section back here, and we have more lightning bugs ahead that block our path, so we're supposed to lure them away using that bulb over there, and Zik's going to try to...
Yeah,
first try. Nice. So Ryoichi has a special move where he can launch a bunch of ninja stars, but the pattern that they go in is a little awkward to work with. So
you
being
can't
able
really
to hit from a
control it,
distance,
they just spray.
Exactly. Being able to hit from a distance like that is pretty impressive.
And yeah, we can't skip
Nice
that
job.
poison plant cutscene like the first one because it leads into, like Nave said earlier, it leads into the end job cutscene, which is leading into a load. So it's a cutscene into a
Exactly.
cutscene into a load.
Yeah. And this is it. We're going into a job called Altitude Sickness, which is the final job or operation of episode 1. We're going to confront El Jeff, and we're going to take back the cane, Ryoichi's cane that he stole.
It's been stolen. It's part of the plan.
The plan.
So yeah, this is broken up into a lot of little sections where we're gonna play as different members of the gang here. So first, here's this Chalk Talk cutscene. We need to press circle button to skip, not start.
Not start. Don't want to break the game.
And something we did mention, just kind of when we were doing any of these pickpockets, you'll notice I run up to a guard and then jump towards them. Since Sly doesn't have this stealth run like Ryoichi does, if I were to run straight up to a guard, it would alert them. But walking is slow, so by jumping, you kind of preserve some of your momentum from the running. It's just kind of the fastest way to get up close to a guard to pickpocket them is to run and then jump the last little bit.
Very good point. So now we're opening these dragon gate mouths and knocking back the fire that they spit in order to unlock this giant gate into the palace where El Jefe is hiding.
We're gonna try a little ICSS. Oh, I didn't get the ICSS, but I got the early fireball.
Yeah, that was close though. So Zik did pull off something really impressive there. The wheel that you run on in order to open that dragon mouth, it will launch you backwards whenever you make your analog stick go neutral. So you use that to your advantage to get in a position really quickly, put on the costume, launch the shield, and hopefully hit the fireball back in one cycle rather than have to wait on the second one. And that's actually pretty tough to do.
It's a very tight window. You have to get a good launch backwards and get into the samurai costume in a very tight timing.
Yeah, did a great job. And then what he was trying to do, if you hit pause on the exact same frame that the fireball hits the dragon, then you can skip the cinematic of the gate unlocking. But again, that's a 1-frame window
And
in
I
a
wasn't
60 FPS game.
Yeah.
I mean,
I wasn't expecting to get the early fireball, so I couldn't see the dragon thing.
Yeah,
So I just
could-
kind of was like, oh, I'm gonna just try and time it.
I could tell you were just guessing, and you were actually still
I think
really
it was
close. It was like 1, maybe 2 frames off.
This is one of my least favorite sections of the operation.
Yeah, this is another pretty much RNG section because the rats, as they're spawning in, it's just random. And you're playing as Murray, which is good because he's the best at combat. You'll notice what Zik does is he tries to pick them up, throw them at another rat, and then they both die at the same time. That's ideal, but Sly and Bentley are also fighting the rats. Sometimes they'll steal your kills, and it's just a mess up here. This is one of the
Yeah.
worst sections of the job.
Sly at least is somewhat of a help. Bentley is actually like no help there. You
He's
want
like a
to steal
hindrance.
kills off him.
So
'Cause
while
he's
they're
just hitting
fighting
them
rats
around.
above, right? He just knocks them around. But while they're fighting rats above, we'll switch to Ryoichi. He goes under the bridge and does some really good platforming here in order to unlock the gate that's preventing them from, continuing to go across the bridge.
I think
Nice
that's
little
safe.
circle boost there. Nice.
You can do that a little like crazier, we'll say, but it's a little scary, very tight, and it's kind of not worth the time. I'd rather just do the extra jump to one more platform than try and do the miracle circle boost.
Yeah, I'd say the extra jump there is perfectly fine. I would say the other way saves. It's such a small amount of time. It's
Yeah.
like hardly worth considering.
Oh, that was a big circle boost. Some of those you can really see how far you can be. Sometimes you circle boost and you like expect to hit. You're like, oh, I'm not gonna make that. I might as well just hit circle just to not die. And then it still like launches you forward to something. Like, oh, okay, I guess I'm going there.
Circle boosting is really fun and really easy. If you have this game and you just roll your thumb from X to circle as you try to attach something, you'll notice it. Like you'll be like, oh wow, this is pretty cool.
Looks like a real pigeon magnet.
And it's like a main function of Sly Cooper Thieves in Time speedrunning. It's what we do everywhere.
You'll never catch me.
Yeah, you're almost always circle boosting to something.
We'll see about that.
So as we're going through this cutscene, since we're getting near the end, just want to go ahead and mention, thank Zik for inviting me to com with him on this show. Appreciate that.
Of course.
If anybody's interested in Sly speedrunning, feel free to join the Discord community. Check out the speedrun.com page where you can find the link for that. If you're interested in seeing some of the very fastest people in the community, you can go to slygolds.com where we have the fastest segments of every game. And there's some really impressive strats and times there. We also host events. Like right now, we're hosting a tournament. So feel free to watch and enjoy that as well. And I'm just really glad to be here. I love Sly Cooper speedrunning.
Yeah, and also to mention that not only will we be seeing this run at SGDQ coming out, but Nave will also, right before this run, be running Sly 3 Episode 1 at SGDQ. We have lots of
Thank
Sly Cooper content at SGDQ.
Yeah, it's huge for us. We're
Yeah.
so appreciative of the opportunities we have. But back to this run, we are fighting Jeff. Very nicely done. So there are 3 sections to this El Jefe fight.
Go.
Nicely done. We're going to chase him around into 3 different towers. We just finished the first one, where it takes 13 hits to knock him down. We got it in 1 cycle. The second phase here, it takes 17 hits, and it has to be done over 2 cycles. Optimally, you do it 10 hits and then 7. If you do it 9 and then 8, that's also totally fine. But yeah,
You can get 10 on the first one, too.
Yeah.
If you get the good timing, you can get 10 hits on the first one.
The third one is where things get really interesting, but to explain, you might have seen Zik getting hit here. It's not because he's bad. He's actually super good at this game. He's doing that on purpose because El Jefe has some certain attacks that have extremely long animations. So to just skip them, we're just going to walk into his little circle there, respect his personal space, and he's just going to knock us out of it.
And yep, it's faster to watch yourself get hit than to actually try and dodge the hit that he's doing. For a swing.
Nice. So you'll hear Zik counting. It's because once he starts doing that like sword slash on the ground, it creates a rhythm that's going to lead up to him launching a fireball. And as we mentioned in Breakout, one of the earliest jobs, your shield animation lingers for a long time. So you want to do the shield as early as possible so that it still knocks the fireball back while also being able to get out of the costume to then hit him with your cane. And ideally, that can be done in a single cycle on this last phase, but it's extremely, extremely tight timing.
Very tough. Let's see if we can do it here. Jump.
Time will be coming up when El Jefe dies.
How do you like my cane style?
Oh, that felt good. It felt good.
It did. I actually thought you had it. I was about to pop off.
Look
So
at
you
him
can
with
see
no
his
health.
health. Yeah, his health is basically gone, but that just shows how extremely tight that timing is to get those 8 hits before he stands back up. Saves about 20 seconds. But once we get one more hit here, that will be time now.
There he goes.
GG. That was a really good run.
It was.
What was the time?
I have 45:30.
Wow. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty good for being on a GDQ stream here.
Yeah, I would have been close to PB had I not had the fish nonsense.
Oh yeah, that fish was pretty rough.
Yeah, I think that
All
cost
those
me
lightning
20
bugs
seconds.
Ooh, I need some more fish.
I need some more fish. But yeah, that's Sly 4 episode 1. It's honestly an extremely fun run. Very fun game. Yeah, if you want to check out some good Sly Cooper speedrunning, like I said, in, what is it, 2 weeks, we're having Sly 3 and Sly 4 at SGDQ.
Both of us will be back. You can't get rid of us.
Can't get rid of us.
Thank you so much, Zik, for having me. And
Yeah,
Church.
thanks for commentating. It's nice to have some backup. And
Yeah, tons of fun.
yeah, make sure everybody,
Jefe was defeated.
if you like Sly
disgraced,
Cooper speedrunning, make sure you go follow Nave. Nave does lots of good Sly Cooper speedrun stuff.
Yep, you can follow me at twitch.tv/Zik3.
The Uno reverse.
Dang.
Church, thanks for having us.
Looking for my
Yeah,
ancestor,
absolutely. Thanks so much
Tennessee
for being on.
Kid Cooper.
So, Sly 3, Sly 4,
legendary
that's
outlaw
like
whose
8
band
a.m.
members were some of the
local
most
time on
daring in
Wednesday,
Cooper
the
lore.
3rd. So, that's when you
Yes.
can check out both of
When we
these
arrived, it took
runners,
some time
both
to
of these
locate
games.
him.
Well, not, Sly 3 wasn't
found
here,
him.
but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was the
It was in
handiwork of the
spirit.
local sheriff, who had
Exactly, it was in
celebrated
spirit. Yeah, definitely don't forget to tune into those runs, and yeah, be sure to follow both of these runners, both very good runners. Definitely deserve the follow. Thank you both so much for being on. I know it was a little bit of short notice, but I appreciate y'all being on, showcasing the game. I had a blast.
Yeah,
With
thank
that
you very much.
Thank you.
With
Bye-bye,
that
everybody.
said, we don't have... This is the end of my show tonight. We do have Speedruns from the Crypt coming up. Before we take a break and go to that, just a few quick reminders. Your subs, Prime Gaming subs, gift subs, and bitch cheered on the GDQ Twitch channel do help support the GDQ Hotfix. So if you enjoy watching any of these speedruns, you know, the specials, Speedruns from the Crypt coming up, anything like that, it really does help us put these on. Also, GDQ is going to PAX West. Submissions are open until June 21st. You can use exclamation PAX in Twitch chat for more information. We've also got Flame Fatales returning August 18th through 25th. The schedule is out now. You can use exclamation FF in Twitch chat for more information. And let us know on social medias and the YouTube comments or in chat what you're looking forward to the most. And like I said earlier, Challenger Approaching is going to be back in 3 weeks after GDQ 2024. So this time slot, 3 weeks from now, you'll get Challenger Approaching again. And yeah, we've got Speedruns from the Crypt coming up. We'll see you in just a few minutes for that.